Welcome back, crew. We are here for our March game of the month. Fabula Ultima. Took me a bit to actually learn the pronunciation on that side. And today we are going to be going through a live actual play of the system, kind of putting it through its paces. And as always, we're going to be giving away a free copy of the system to one lucky viewer. And let me throw it in the chat. But if you put in TTJRPG, because this system is the TTRPG that's kind of designed off the old school JRPGs. Think old school Final Fantasy, Dragon's Breath, all that. If you throw that into the chat, our Nightbot will capture you and put you in the raffle to win a free PDF copy of the system. So make sure you get that in there. Get a chance to bring the system home for you and your crew. Sweet. So before we do that, so I'm going to be doing a video on this weekend, but we actually over Discord did one of their cooler features for the system. It's kind of going through and building the world. So I'm going to set the stage a little bit with what the crew built, and we'll get to meet the PCs and kind of see how they play into this wider conflict. But basically, to set the stage, as you kind of look over the world, you see it is in clear peril. You see on the ground there are fires, large craters, but the thing that probably catches your eye is this moon, which seems to be breaking apart slowly, sending rocks hurtling down into the atmosphere. But the moon doesn't look like the moon you're used to. This moon looks almost like something straight out of sci-fi. You see this advanced civilization filled with kind of skyscrapers, buildings, lights, robots, machina, just ablaze across there, but slowly starting to crumble and break away as the moon starts to decay and sending these pieces hurtling into the lands below. And the lands below, you see kind of like verdant forest, kind of deep blue seas, and you see castles and just like this realm of pure magic. The grass looks greener. You see creatures that are fantastic that couldn't exist anywhere outside of a civilization that had been blessed with the gift of magic. But you see, even within this, some of the magic that kind of keeps afloat in castles in the air, helps them tame the wilds, is going haywire. You see fires breaking out across the land as chaos reigns. And with this land, and one of the deeper pieces of its history is the terrestrials, the people living on the magical land below, and the lunarchs, the people kind of floating above in their technological paradise on the moon, have been a conflict for centuries, each believing the other's kind of gift for the lunarchs, the terrestrials' magic, and for the terrestrials, the lunarchs' technology. They believe the other to be responsible for this calamity, this chaos that is plaguing the land. But with this, and kind of this almost impending doom as the moon continues to break apart and devastate both the lunarchs as well as the terrestrials, one group has come together to try to see if they can bridge the gap between magic and Mahina. And that's going to be our group here. And you kind of see as you come in, the two very disparate types of people kind of engaged in the summit. You see those with kind of more technological gear and dress style mixed with those with flowing robes and just kind of almost magical like appearance, kind of all standing on opposite sides of a room, looking at the stage, almost as if not in reverence, but at least with hope, hope that there could be some type of change. And that's where we're going to meet our crew. Our crew is going to be on that stage. One of them, one on each side, and then one in the middle, because we're going to be rolling with the Fabula Ultima Guardians kind of party type, with these people that are going to be protecting the chosen one of the crew. What order? Do you guys have an order preference that you guys want to go in? I think we save the chosen one for last, but completely up to you all.
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
One of the people that you see, and you said it was in like a sort of amphitheater. I don't know why. Maybe I don't think you said that, but that's what I was imagining.
Definitely works. Yeah.
But one of the people standing on the stage is a huge man with dark skin, very short hair, cut like a soldier, looks like battle hardened as if he's been through 100 battles, wearing highly polished bronze armor, standing tall and straight to make himself even more large and imposing, carrying a large hammer and a massive shield. Decked out, like I said, in bronze armor, adorned with blue cloth adornments, like a paladin of old, perhaps. Looking out into the crowd, looking stoic, keeping his face unreadable. And that is Resh. I don't think I said his name. My character's name is Resh.
Perfect. And one of the cool things with this system is it actually like not even just encourages you to multi-class, it requires you to multi-class. Give us a breakdown of what Resh's classes are.
Yes, I am a guardian orator, so it is my job to keep my allies safe and encourage them to be stronger themselves while I protect them from harm.
Standing next to Resh, too, you do see kind of an older man, definitely some gray kind of across the black of his hair. He's wearing blue robes and kind of some similar color to Resh, with kind of keen eyes. And you do see him kind of standing there, almost representing the terrestrials and kind of their perspective on that side, kind of standing next to Resh as an ally. But on the other side of the stage, kind of along more of the Lunark style, we've got our other PC.
Yeah, so I'm playing Kaede. She's young woman, definitely much shorter than Resh, but she's got long blonde hair, and she's of a species where she has these two kind of golden horns coming out of her head where her ears would be otherwise. She also has a scaled tail, and she's wearing armor that is reminiscent of dragon scales. It's a mix of golden and black, and then she carries a heavy steel spear, with the end of the spear is crafted to look like a dragon as well. And she has kind of a mix of nervousness, but also excitement and ready to see some action and get some work done. As for classes, she's mostly focused on Weapon Master. She is an expert with that spear, as well as a level in Fury and a level in Elementalist, as she channels some wind magic to go along with her martial capabilities.
Perfect. I think I got you two mixed up for which ones you were from.
Oh.
Yeah, with that too, so because Kaede is from the magic-oriented, the terrestrials, and Resh is from the Lunarks. Mix those two up in my head. But yeah, next to her, you do see kind of a still like slightly young, but definitely kind of get approaching middle-aged woman. She's got kind of a heavy shield as well as a sword on her back. Definitely kind of see like her eyes kind of cast like a faint glow, which is kind of the arcane magic running through her, and kind of looking almost standing off, looking across at the other side. But in the middle, you do see the one that most people's eyes seem to linger on, some with hope, some with fear, some with distrust. But you see our chosen one for this session.
Yeah, standing in the middle of this stage is well, there's no confusing where I'm from. Mixie MX13 is actually an old automaton from a bygone era, long ago forgotten by the spoils of war, otherwise shut down, destroyed, and left until the overgrowth overtook them, and something happened, who knows what, and Mixie regained consciousness, and where once there was programming, there is now decision making going on, and you can tell by looking on at this old rusty automaton that there is definite age but still power, which kind of lends itself back to the terror that these old machina were in these old genocidal wars that happened eras and eras ago. But over that, almost as if wearing armor, there's patches of moss that's kind of sitting over the shoulders and on forearms and things like that, and a little bit on top of the head, that sort of thing that just is a part of MX13 or Mixie's now personality. And it's just sitting still and kind of letting the proceedings going on around it, trying not to be threatening.
Nice. Before we dive into the next session, you kind of see people just, it's that fear, that hope, that this desperation kind of reeking in the air. We're going to do one of the pieces that Fabula Ultima kind of really recommends is building bonds between the characters and the world. So you guys pick the Guardian class. So we're going to give you guys 2 bonds. Mixie, you get to kind of choose where your bonds go. But for the Guardian party, one of them will be for the chosen one, which is Mixie on this one, and one that you can kind of choose whether from the party, the world, kind of your choice on that side, kind of where you want that bond to go. And the bonds can be invoked in certain situations with a Fabula point to be able to get a reroll. So who wants to go first with their first bond?
Don't pick me because I have to pull up the list of options again because I forgot.
I can go first. I'm going to go with inferiority towards Mixie. Part of Kaede's history is that she was from a princess of a kingdom that was conquered by Lunarchs, years ago. And so she's kind of been exiled, and she still sees like technology and robotics as the thing that kind of conquered her homeland. And so she feels like if she were to get into a fight with Mixie, like she wouldn't stand a chance. And it's kind of wary of that previous loss, but yeah, still trying to decide my other one though.
Okay. So you got a first one in there. So inferiority to Mixie. So anytime a bond can be invoked regarding Mixie, that inferiority, you can kind of invoke that. And also you guys all start with 3 Fabula points on that side too. And you spend a Fabula point anytime you can invoke a bond, trait, or one of your traits, which could be your origin, themes, and I'm forgetting something, backgrounds. Sweet. So who else go next?
I'll go next.
Okay. Go for it.
So Mixie has it's an inferiority, but also an infection to pretty much anything alive, because for so long he was just automated. He's only, if you asked Mixie when he was born, he would tell you it was like 3 days ago. He's not experienced a lot of the world, and so he just sits there in awe of all these people that have these lived lives. So as a thing to the world, that would be my first bond.
Nice. All right.
So if I'm reading these correctly, we get 3 bonds, yes?
No, you get 2. But there's 3 different types. So you can have...
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And each one increases by having it towards the same person, yes?
So if you did do it to the same person, that would increase your bond number.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm going to have them necessarily be for the same person. We have 2 other players, and I have 2 bonds. It makes perfect sense for me to choose 1 for each. So I think Resh has 100% absolute loyalty towards Mixie. He sees protecting. Remind me, Mixie's pronouns: he, they, she, it.
I'm going to alternate between he and they.
All right, cool.
And I honestly intend they, them, but I know I'm just going to keep flipping and referring to myself as he. So.
All right, that's fine. So absolute loyalty to Mixie, because he sees them as the sort of hope for the future, and he believes that it is his duty to make sure that their mission. I don't know why I keep saying her. My brain just keeps wanting to insert her.
Mixie is kind of a feminine name too, so
yeah, I think that's what was doing it. It was the feminine name. But absolute loyalty because he believes it is his duty to ensure that the mission is completed. So 100% loyalty to Mixie, will absolutely die for them. All that. And then I think there's a little bit of mistrust towards Kaede, just because it's sort of natural. We're from opposite lands who don't like each other. I'm not gonna say it's like hatred, because we do have the same mission, but there is a bit of mistrust there.
Cool. Yeah, for my second one, I think I feel some admiration towards Resh. You clearly have a lot of skill in protecting others, whereas Kaede's training has been all offense all the time. And I think that's something she's a little bit envious of in a way that's like, she wishes she could have protected people as effective as you can, but that's not where her skill set lies.
Sweet. All right, I will add these to my sheet.
Perfect. And Mixie, did you do both yours too?
I just did one world. I don't know what to do for the other one, to be honest. I kind of forgot about doing bonds, so I'm kind of going on a fly here.
Do you have any leadings so far?
What's that?
Do you have any leadings? I know you've got one with living creatures. Any towards your party with kind of what you heard of Kaede and Resh so far?
Well, now it's just picking one player over the other sort of thing.
Who is your favorite person based on the 10 minutes that you've known us?
Right.
And we will be offended if you choose the other one.
You know what? I am going to go with admiration for Resh for the protection sort of aspect, because again, reverse that. Kaede is the protector. Resh is the attacker, right?
Oh, Resh is the attacker.
You had it
Oh, I
right.
did have it right. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Because, Mixie was a killing machine, literally. So the idea of like actually wanting to protect something and being willing to lay down their life instead of like, it's just programming, this is what I'm supposed to do, is a cool thing.
Perfect. Well, now that you guys have your bonds established, you kind of come into focus in the room. You hear with this amphitheater, with kind of divided by lines, with the lunarchs on one side, the terrestrials on the other. Like for a while, like kind of people were speaking in a respectful tone as they were kind of shouting towards the stage, shouting towards Mixie, shouting towards Kaede, Resh, along with the representatives from the terrestrials and the lunarchs. But you do see it starts to get a little bit more hostile. Like people you see panic, you see despair, and one of them kind of just shouts from the crowd. This kind of middle-aged man, and you definitely can tell he's from the terrestrials. He's wearing these flowing robes, and he goes, "Do you really think this will work? Do you think that abomination could bring balance between our wonderful magic and that cursed Mahina? This is a fool's errand."
I think Resh would step forward and sort of stand tall and sort of threateningly in the direction of that guy and just be like, "You, Silence. You dare speak disrespectfully of the one that will save us all." He just kind of expects his authority to carry without actually explaining anything.
You do see kind of the man in the blue robe standing next to you, kind of nods along, and he goes, "That is quite right, Resh. Our science has pinpointed what opportunity. Our opportunity lies with MX-13. If he can bring balance amongst himself between the Mahina and the magic, in theory, if we can apply this on a broader scale, he can help balance it throughout the world." And you kind of see as he says that, the woman standing next to you with the heavy shield and armor kind of steps forward and says, "We agree. We've heard of a technomaturge, one that's able to blend technology and magic. We think by using this Mixie, you as a blueprint, he may be able to save both our worlds, the lunar moon above as well as the terrestrials. But we need MX-13 to make it there. And that's why we have brought in both of our world's finest. And you can see him gesture, or see her gesture to Kaede and Resh.
Mixie, for their part during all of this, is just going to kind of, again, be pretty motionless. But when he first starts speaking out and the crowd starts, kind of making some rumblings, he's going to kind of like be just a little jittery and kind of like step back just a little bit. And you can kind of see him like shifting side to side a little, like watching the discourse happening. But otherwise is staying quiet.
You see, kind of looking out at the crowd, some seemed reassured by kind of their leaders each speaking towards this thing, its qualities, kind of what it could do. But you do see, kind of in the back, there's one of this just kind of like elderly woman kind of look up and look at Mixie and just kind of go, "What do you have to say for yourself? You can you do this? You're just wobbling back and forth. You're supposed to be our chosen."
Mixie will kind of straighten up a little bit and kind of look directly at the old woman and kind of like gesture to everybody. It's like, this isn't just me. I may be chosen, but this is all of us. We all are doing this together. I am just the epictus of your focus. But I will do what I can.
This one speaks the truth. It is only by uniting our peoples that we will be able to save us both. Even if we do not necessarily trust each other, it is imperative that we work together, at least just this once.
You might recognize me as one of the last living people from Kenkanai. My home was attacked by Lunarks. I, more than anyone, would have reason to distrust what's happening here. But I've come to see that fighting against technology and the Lunarks is just going to keep this war going on forever. We need to do something different. We need Mixie to unite us.
You see kind of the old
Mixie
woman
for
that you
president.
spoke to, kind of she nodded for a moment, but you see her kind of smile, especially as you get to the last of your people in the unite part. And you see she form kind of like, almost like she starts walking to the stage. It's almost like she's getting larger as she kind of walks closer, and you hear kind of the rumbling of thunder behind her as her form starts to shift a little bit. Her voice deepens. She gets larger and larger, almost seeming to expand, and she goes, "United. United. You all will be united in your foolishness." As the Walt's old lady says foolishness, you see this creature almost just pop out of what was her form, kind of just striding forth. And you see this creature is probably the best way to describe it, because at one part, he almost resembles Mixie slightly. You see kind of the armored carapace, but rather than kind of being a full automata, you see that he is like bits of flesh. You see his chest moves and breathes out. You see his face kind of with burning, almost golden eyes, with wires and veins kind of crisscrossing it. The face has like an unnatural paleness to it, and as he kind of comes to his full shape and size, he is well over 8 foot. His armor is just almost like it's larger and thicker than full plate. You hear it almost buzzing as it moves, almost like it's propelled by some innate sense of its own innate source of power. And he looks at the group, and as he speaks, you see little red lights start to appear across the top of the amphitheater, and he looks out at Mixie in particular, and he goes, "You are unique in your design, but balance is not needed. Technology, the Mahina, and magic should form and give rise to a new people. Forsake them and come where the power truly lies." And as he says that, you start to see kind of lunar rock start to break through the amphitheater, causing havoc, and you start to see creatures coming flying in. The two people next to you, kind of the woman next to you, Kaede, the man in the blue robes next to you, Resh, kind of point and yell, almost at unison at once, "Get Mixie out! We have to flee!" And you see kind of chaos breaking out. This figure standing there with his kind of large armor and glowing gold eyes, and you see chaos just really starting to unfold. What does the crew do?
Where's the exit?
Yeah, you do see kind of like behind the stage. There is like a kind of almost a back, kind of behind stage exit as well.
Immediately, Resh is going to rush over, throw himself between Mixie and whatever this creature is, and hold up his shield. The shield is as big as Mixie is, so he's just putting it in front of himself and standing between them and whatever this monster is, and encouraging and attempting to like walk backwards slowly while holding the shield up.
Is there any creatures between us and that exit point?
No creatures between you and the exit point. You guys see kind of as Resh kind of puts a shield up in front of Mixie, you do see kind of your the two connections, the the Lunarchs and the Terrestrials kind of jump into battle. The woman with her large sword and shield kind of just clashing with these creatures that are flying through, along with the man in the robes kind of calling upon his own Mahina to help aid him in the fight. But you guys do seem to have a clear path, at least towards the back so far.
We should get moving.
Mixie's body language will be just like, again, it's Machina. He doesn't really have, he's built for war. He's not really meant for facial expressions. So, but body language wise, you'll kind of see him like slump a little bit, like, oh man.
Not again.
Just like sadness. And like he'll raise his shield in one hand, he'll raise his gun up in the other hand, he'll like start to aim. But as his companions start backing up, he will also back up and resist the urge to start shooting at things. And will just slowly back up, but faster than his companions.
Perfect. As you back,
he knows his role.
Kind of starting to make your way towards the exit. You see kind of your two leaders start to try to engage this big beast of a man in combat. You just see kind of just sword clashing, technology and Mahina kind of going at this creature, but he seems to kind of just almost juggernautly kind of moving forward, pushing back your mentors, but you are able to eventually kind of break free and get through from this kind of just cluster into the back room. And you see kind of like this, as you get through out of the backstage, you see kind of this large room and kind of see multiple exits along the way. You guys know kind of the exit you all need to get is in the far northern area, but from the other exits, you do see three creatures walk in. You see one looks almost similar to the big man that you see come in front, but he's much smaller. Doesn't seem as aware either. You see he does have the flesh and armor, but his eyes just have a dull, listless expression to them. Next to him as well, you do see like this creature that like kind of wielding a staff, and it looks almost like a lizard, like a kobold. But you do see kind of bits of tech kind of scattered, like almost like cyborg enhancements across its face. Same kind of listless expression as it makes its way towards you. And finally, you also see kind of like this glowing red, almost bomb like creature, like fiery red glow. A face kind of can be seen through the fire as it hovers and gets closer and closer to you. And you see the kind of the trooper just bash his fist, sparks gliding off them, and they kind of enter into their combat stance. We're gonna try out combat with this system, kind of see how it flows. So one of the things I saw kind of abundance with people talking about the system was to utilize the updated initiative that the creator came out with for Fabula Ultima. So we will be utilizing those rules. So with those, and I think they're actually in Foundry too, which makes life a bit easier there as well. So what we're going to do is who amongst the crew for this initiative at least will be the leader. And what's going to happen is they're all going to do a group check, but the leader is going to be the one that we utilize their role for. The others will be, if they succeed, we'll give that leader a +1 to their role, and if they fail, we'll just not really won't be a benefit there.
All right, and we benefit from picking whoever is the fastest, correct?
That's right.
Probably. All right, it's not going to be me.
I mean, I think my armor also gives me a penalty to initiative.
I'm at least a -2, so.
You're a -2 for, I think that's what the symbol little means. Mine is a minus, yeah, initiative
Yeah,
modifier. For mine, it's a -3.
I have a -4.
Oh, crap. We are a very slow party, I guess.
Well, see, when I'm looking under attributes, I'm at a 0, but when I'm under gear, I have -2. So it must be my gear is giving me -2.
It might be,
But
yeah.
my
There's a little
must be
checkbox
bumping
right
it.
next to if you have armor, if you just click the little checkbox, I think it should like equip it basically.
Okay. That is on. Yes, now it says -2 on the other one. Okay. Yes.
Well, but even with your -2, you are the best.
Okay.
Perfect. So we're gonna make you the leader. There's a cool little thing on this side within Foundry that'll let us make you the leader. You can see how the rolls are going. And let me get these creatures out there too, as well. Because with this, if you were rolling at the table, this would be a Dex plus Insight for the initiative roll. You're going to be beating kind of the half of the fastest monsters. Roll on that side and to see if the players go first. And the way initiative works on this one is once you guys decide the players, or if the player's side goes first, you guys would designate whether your leader or whoever else wants to go first on that side. Then an enemy goes, then a player goes, and an enemy goes until everybody has gone and made their turn.
Great.
Now, I am not seeing a button specifically for rolling initiative. So under the roll thing, I would put Dex Insight, and then I put -2 in the bonus section.
One nice thing, so if you click, let me make sure you guys can see it. So one of the cool Foundry things I found as I was messing around with stuff today. Oh, you guys can't see it. So I made you guys the owner on that side. So if you click into group members and make Mixie the group leader there, and if you click on the roll initiative, it'll roll the initiative and see how it plays.
Oh, and that would just do it for all of us?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Currently it says Kaede is the leader, and I don't know how we can change that.
I'm not.
Oh, see, mine says Mixie as a leader.
Okay, yeah, it just changed for me.
I'm not seeing anything.
Well, I will roll this one. You should be able to find it under Guardians.
Oh, it is now updated on my screen, yeah.
But it looks like, yeah, Mixie, you will succeed on that one. So unfortunately, Kaede and Resh will fail, but you got a 10 on your one of your dies there and maxed it out, pushed you guys ahead. So you guys see these creatures kind of facing off with you. You all will be able to kick it off. With this, even though Mixie was a group leader, you guys can decide whose ability would work best first and get them in. And you guys have an action that you can take to utilize any of the options available to you. So let you guys decide who is kicking it off, and we'll dive in.
I'll go first. I think I have an action that'll help. I'm going to move up to the armored creature. I think you called it a trooper. And I'm going to try to use my breach action to destroy its armor. So I spend 5 mind points and then make a free attack with the melee weapon.
Nice.
I will do that. So if it's successful, it deals no damage, but I destroy its armor, the target's armor.
Perfect. Let's see. That was a 9 on that side. That will hit. Let me see where its armor is on this creature. But while I'm looking for that, how does that all look for it, too?
So as soon as trouble comes, Kaede leaps forward like a superhuman distance, covering it, and just slams her spear under a chunk of the creature's armor, and then like crowbars the piece off, and it flies back. The chunk of armor as the creature is left defenseless.
Yeah, you see kind of that armor crash and fall off. You see kind of beneath kind of where this person's skin should be. You see like just this pale, like almost wire-coated skin, where you see kind of where veins are partly there, but where there should be veins, there are just wires and connectors. And you see his heart. You could see his heart kind of pumping underneath his chest, but with like this almost rhythmic staccato versus a typical heartbeat. It's almost like it is being charged or pumped by something machine-like as you bring down its armor.
Gross. Love it.
Sweet. So that was one of you guys taking its turn. So yeah, you see this Magitech trooper forming its arm into an axe as it moves, and it tries to strike back out at you, Kaede. Will a 14 beat your defense?
Okay, so my armor says 12. I don't think there's anything that gets added to that, so yes.
Yeah, so you see this creature kind of walks forward, its chest exposed, and just slashes, kind of cutting deep into you with the axe for 21 damage to your HP.
Damn.
That was a hit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I was wondering, like,
again.
what's a normal amount of damage in this game? I don't know. I have no concept.
I mean,
for, like, do I have a lot of HP? I don't know. I've never seen anyone else's HP.
Viewers too. You start at level 5 in this game, so you start. I don't know what everybody's HP. The guy I made ended up at 65 HP, and so usually you get a lot of HP for starting level. I'll say.
Yeah, I have 65, so now it's down to 44. So a good hit, but I can take 2 more of those and still be alive, but barely.
Wow, you have more HP than I do, actually. I'm surprised because I'm the big thick guy, but you know, there's probably things like that in Weapon Master and whatnot.
That's the hard thing with this one, because if you mix and match a lot of martial classes like I did with my guy, you get a lot of HP. You get a lot of But yeah, party is up. Who is going next?
I think we would benefit if I go next because I will be able to protect you.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna do something very simple. I'm gonna rush forward, and I'm taking the guard action. Basically, I have resistance to all damage, and enemies cannot attack. I don't think this is a thing. I forget. Like, melee attacks can't reach ranged characters or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it works. It's something like that.
Melee attacks can't range flying characters.
Yeah.
Oh, flying. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm still going to take the guard action. And good things are coming, I promise. But so Yeah, Resh just rushes forward with his shield and just, for the first time you see, you couldn't really tell before that there was any sort of technological mastery or anything like that, but as soon as he holds up his shield, a sort of like bluish green grid appears in front of the shield, and he is ready for the incoming attacks.
Perfect. You see the little kobold, kind of cyborg witch, kind of begin to swirl her staff, but her eyes right now are on Mixie. And you see our master's prize. Back will bring you. And you see as she spins the staff, her mouth seems to expand a bit, and just like almost comically large for a moment before she opens it and unleashes this torrent at you, Mixie. Just this torrent of gas and almost kind of crackling green, just putrid electricity kind of maneuvering through the gas as she unleashes bad breath towards you.
All right. Well, I'm going to use my protect reaction thing that I have. I can choose to take the damage for somebody else when an ally is attacked. So I'm going to take whatever damage is done.
Perfect.
Or whatever attack is done.
Does it have to hit you, or with the protect as it assumes it would hit you?
Good question. Let me read it again.
For the record, that wouldn't hit me.
Any checks that are part of the danger will be performed against you. You may declare blah, 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 blah.
So it changes the target to you, is how I would.
Yes, it changes the target to me. That would hit me. But hold on, if it wouldn't hit you, then it probably would make sense for me to not then do this.
If you have to declare before it's known, then you've already.
It says before or after the checks have been made. So I guess technically it would be better for me to not do this because it would hit me, but it would not hit you.
Yeah, because that's an 8. That was a magic attack, I assume.
It is.
My magic defense is 10, so I would just kind of like shrug it off.
Yeah, Resh, you see kind of like this putrid breath kind of coming towards Mixie, but it just kind of his own magical defenses, his own magical nature comes to bear, protecting him. You realize you don't need to jump in front of that grenade.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's magic. I don't understand how to guard against magic.
Fair.
Mixie, I assume it's my turn now.
Yeah.
Or is she done? Yeah. Mixie will start beeping and blooping in droid at his attackers, and we'll wait like just a moment to see if there's any response at all. And what he's basically saying is, droid is, you don't have to do this. Please, I don't want to hurt you.
Perfect.
And if there's no response like immediately, then these people obviously don't understand droid, and he's just going to start attacking. And he will is not feeling threatened by the witch, so he's going to go ahead and shoot the one whose armor has been rended off the trooper.
All right.
And attack.
That'll definitely hit.
And 17 damage.
Sweet. So how does that look as he shoots him?
So he basically says the thing, nobody responds, and he's a sharpshooter, so he just takes a crack shot, and as that armor is being flung through the air, just takes the shot, and it goes into the gears and fleshy bits, and damage happens. That's where the magic happens.
You see kind of some blood started to trickle down the creature's chest as you blast into with his armor now removed. And it is now the Granado's attack. You see this fiery, just almost elemental looking construct kind of just floating closer and closer. But you see Resh, he seems to be focused upon you. And you see he almost seems to grow larger as it gets closer and closer in. And you see as he looks at you, he hauls back, and you see just flame trickling out of his mouth as he unleashes a belch at you of fire.
Sounds bad. All right, and this is a magic attack, or
this is a magic attack?
All right, an 8 would hit me, but I am guarding, so the damage gets cut in half, I believe.
It does. Yeah, so you see kind of your shield comes up, blocking a lot of that flame as it comes towards you. Some of it's able to lick past the shield and start to burn into you, but luckily you're able to kind of defend against the worst of it.
All right. Oh, and I also looked up the rules for guard, and when I choose to guard, I can cover someone, which prevents all melee attacks against that person.
Perfect. All right.
That's not even a guardian ability. That's just the normal rules for guard. All right.
Sweet. So party, you guys, a new round, start of the turn. So you guys can't switch around as well. So who is up first?
I'll go ahead and make an attack against the one whose armor I breached.
Okay.
This time with intent to do damage. 13.
That'll hit.
So that's 20 damage. As I just shove my spear down into that weak spot I created.
Sweet. Yeah, you see kind of blood like this black red blood, almost like it looks like it's mixed with oil, starting to kind of leak out of this creature as his wounds start to add up. You do see it has like no, like, as you kind of stab into it, as you've shot into it, it doesn't really seem to almost understand. It doesn't seem to flinch in pain, and you don't really see it react. You just see it kind of mindlessly continue its trudge forward. But Kaede, this time, it looks at you and it goes, new target. It slashes at you with his axe. Will it 12?
That's my armor class.
Unfortunately, that will hit for 22 HP.
22. All right. So now I am in Crisis, which triggers my Fury ability, which gives me bonus damage on attacks.
Nice. How much of a bonus? Oh, so yeah.
Oh, on future attacks, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I thought that was coming up right away. Sweet. So party, you guys are
up. You want to go now? I still have my guard up until my turn starts, so it kind of benefits for me to go last actually now.
Yeah, sure. So I will. Mixie will take a moment to just kind of look between the how bad does the trooper look?
He's definitely bloodied. Still has a decent bit. He looks like to be the toughest out of the three of them. So he's still up, but definitely bloodied, about half HP.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot at him again.
That'll hit.
Okay.
Hey.
Especially since that armor got ripped off. I guess he doesn't have much to protect him. So that's 13 damage. Again, just taking another shot at that same exposed area. Worked once. Might as well do it again.
Perfect. Yeah, you blast in kind of that same area. You're kind of adding another wound to this creature.
I guess is there any sort of cover or anything that Mixie can kind of get behind?
So so you could definitely kind of put that in the fiction. The way Fabula Ultima works, especially this kind of a JRPG influence, as it doesn't really keep track of range and cover pieces like that. They basically kind of assume it's almost like that JRPG line.
Yeah, just storyline wise, I'm gonna find some piece of debris or furniture or something to kind of go and get partial cover because
I'm
a sharpshooter. I work from range, so. But this allows you to free up to not be covered.
That's true. I'm going to cease being cover very soon.
Right. Deal.
Perfect. All right, so the creatures are up. You see that kobold witch once again begin to spin and kind of just swirl her staff. But this time, you see her look at you, Resh, and she kind of rushes in and tries to smash the staff above over your head.
You made a mistake.
It.
She rushes straight at me, and I want to do it like a shield bash and just like knock her back easily, just sending her tumbling backwards, head over heels.
Yeah, you definitely consider kind of knocked back. Unless are you attacking her with your turn too?
No, I just thought it would. I'm just describing how I blocked.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you sit her kind of not tumbling, but definitely stumbling back. Sweet. Party, you're up.
All right, it's just me left, so I am going to use one of my cool abilities. I'm going to use Encourage.
All right.
I am going to shout out at Kaede. Now is our chance. We have to destroy them and get out quickly. And so you are going to regain 10 hit points.
Nice.
And one of your dice increases by a step. Until hold on. Until when? Until the start of my next turn. So you can increase dexterity. You're probably going to want either dexterity or might, because I see that's what you're rolling for your weapon. So one of those goes up by a step.
I'll go with dexterity.
Sweet. So you're faster now.
Or sorry, might would make more sense. Yeah, let's go with might.
All right. Awesome. That's my turn.
Perfect. You see this flaming creature, the Granado, kind of go once again. You see it kind of just continue to expand and expand. This time, it looks over towards Mixie, kind of hiding behind some of the cover there, and you see it just expand and unleash its flame, kind of sending it hurtling towards the table you've ducked beneath, trying to kind of blow you and the table away. Does a 10 hit you?
This is magic that it meets, yes.
So you see it kind of burning a hole through that table and into Mixie's kind of a metal carapace. All right. PCs, you guys are up again.
This is a new round now, yes?
It is a new round.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and go.
All right.
Sure.
Mixie is gonna go ahead and tap into his Shadow Strike, which allows me to pull from my life force to apply extra damage.
Wow.
So I get to roll a might die, which is a d6. Five. I reduce my hit points by 5. That puts me at about half health, for the record. And I do a weapon attack.
Also, too, if it puts you, does it put you at half health or about half health?
Rounded down half health. I'm 45 full hit points, so I'm 22.
Nice. Yeah, with Fabula Ultima, you do this. The system does assume you round down. Do you have anything with, because you're in crisis now? Usually it means good things for you because a lot of your abilities key off crisis, and especially I don't know what you picked for your Dark Blade.
The Shadow Strike is the only level I took in that. And doesn't do anything for crisis for that. Actually, none of my things do anything for crisis. All right, and I am going to go ahead and hit that trooper again, even though part of me says I should probably shoot that stupid grenade guy, Granado. But I'm going to go with the trooper, because that's what I'm going to do. So 13 hits him. So that's 16 plus another 6 damage.
Nice.
So my skill level in Shadow Strike plus the number rolled for my might. So
it helps.
So 22 damage. And basically, Mixie, having just taken that damage, the moss that's been growing on him is mostly burned away. The smoke is kind of rolling away, and as he pulls up to aim at the trooper again, you'll see that smoke kind of like waft around a little bit and like compress in front of the gun before it shoots off. And you can almost see like a black lightning come out behind the bullet as it flies and makes its impact.
Dope. I think I missed it. Which classes did you pick again?
I did not say actually. Shadow
Okay.
Strike and Sharpshooter. Sorry, Dark Blade and Sharpshooter.
Nice.
Which I realized, I think
see-
I didn't add my benefits for Sharpshooter from my attacks. Hold on. Doesn't matter. I've hit every shot I've taken so far. So proceed.
Perfect. You see the trooper come crashing to the ground after Mixie's shot. You see who has it gone? No, we started. So the witch is up. You see kind of panic, muted panic. Like you see like her eyes twitching, like with this one spot, like new fear. But her face seems to be just kind of still composed in that same stoic mask that it's been since the start of the fight. And you see her once again spin this chaotic mix of magic through her staff and unleash a torrent of bad breath. But this time at you, Mixie. A 10 I think hits for
Yes.
magic, right?
Yes.
And you see kind of just poison is kind of coming through and just burning into you as she unleashes the blow. But party, you are up again, and you guys start to hear a bit of a rumbling too from kind of the area where the stage was, kind of a bit on the other side of the auditorium. You hear kind of the sounds of combat. You start to hear kind of a rumbling and just crashing and almost groaning of metal coming as well.
I'm gonna jump towards the witch and try to attack her with my spear.
Okay.
Ooh. Does an 8 do it?
I don't think so. Let me make sure. Yeah, you see she just narrowly dodges aside.
Did you
Imagine my
increase
spear gets
one of
like
your
stuck
dice?
to... I don't know if
It doesn't look like it incorporated into the die roll.
Okay. Do you want me to
Yeah,
reroll?
reroll one of those dice.
Okay. I said I increased the might, which was the 2, so I'll just roll a d12.
Nice. That'll hit.
That's +5 on it. And then that would be the high roll, so 7 plus 12 is 19 plus 2, 21 damage total with my adrenaline bonus added in.
Nice. Finish the witch.
Got it.
So I stab through her with a spear, and it pins against the wall, and I have to like pull 3 times before I get it out of the wall and turn to face the last enemy.
You see
Support.
with kind of rushes and bolt of it, you feel that kind of spear go effortlessly through the kobold as she comes crashing to the ground, and you see this flaming creature just kind of a face through the flames, and you see it smile as it gets bigger and bigger, but it does continue to blow. Its flame belches, but this time it's you, Resh.
That is a magic attack, I assume.
It is.
That's definitely gonna hit me. My magic defense is 6, so.
Rough on that side, man. You see he is just belching out these flames, just burning and burning through as he's the last one remaining. Party, you are up. And that kind of just cracking, rumbling, kind of grinding of metal seems to intensify. Who's up first?
Hold on.
Question real quick. as there's only one enemy left, does it seem like we can, navigate around this guy and continue on without continuing to engage?
Yeah, you guys could definitely try to kind of run away from him on that side. We'll do it's kind of similar to what we did for initiative. If you guys do like to do that, we'll make a group check. Same thing, you guys would designate one of the crew as the leader, but this time it would be a double dexterity check.
I can take the lead on that. I feel like I'm like right there up in front, so maybe I can kind of like fend them off as the others get through.
Yeah, I don't think I got a turn that round. Like you're saying, you're talking as if we're starting a new round, and I didn't go that time.
Oh, did we skip you?
I think so.
No, I thought we were kind of doing it like using this group check to get out of combat.
Well, yes, but
It has to be during somebody's turn, right?
well, Resh didn't have a turn that round, and Tegan was starting a new round of combat. Like we were coming back to the top, but Resh hasn't had a turn yet.
Yeah, so go ahead, Rush.
All right. I'm gonna do the only thing I can. I think. Resh sort of after trying to block that massive fireball with his shield, he's just going to rush forward with a battle cry and just try to smash this thing with his big dang hammer. Does that do it?
That it?
Hey.
Yeah, you smash the creature with its hammer. It looks like you see like bits of like flame and oil kind of leaking out of its kind of fiery exterior as you kind of break through it. It definitely looks a little worse for the wear after that hammer smash. Sweet. Yeah, so they've already gone. So same thing, kind of top of the order then. So there's not enough enemies to go back and forth. The PCs, you will get another turn. Then it'll be the enemy's turn. So what do you guys do?
So, do we want to try a group roll to escape, where I would be the leader and then y'all support? That's what we were talking about doing.
Yeah, if you want to flee.
I'm at 8 hit points, so as the there's some urgency for me to run, but my dexterity is a D12, so I don't know what your dex is.
Okay,
that's my top roll. So
yeah, you can take the lead then, especially since you're another one who needs to really push us to get out of here.
All right, yeah, go for it.
Current story.
All right, so Guardians, dexterity. And roll.
You're still a leader, so
Perfect.
Mix will be like, run, time to go.
Sweet. So yeah, the whole crew passes. So yeah, what do you guys do to kind of get away from this creature and start to kind of make your way out of this amphitheater as it's starting to crumble around you?
Can we say I just like bashed it out of the way with my hammer and then everyone else runs past?
For sure. So,
Yeah, I mean, you're already face to face with it.
What does that make sense?
I said that would make sense. I mean, he's already face to face with it, so it would totally make sense for him to just smack it with a hammer, then shove it with his shield off to the side, and we would run the other way.
And just for flavor, I'll conjure up some wind magic to give us a tailwind that pushes us forward.
Perfect. You see kind of a Resh come through, smashes the creature with his hammer. Coyote summons this kind of storm of wind, pushing you guys through, and you are able to get away from this just fiery creature. And as you guys run, you see it start to explode, fire kind of licking the area around it. But luckily, you are far enough away from it as it to be outside of its blast range. But you do see with the explosion, it blows part of the wall off, and you see kind of the chaos behind. You see kind of where this was this gathering between the Lunarchs and the Terrestrials, just mayhem, a massacre. Most of these kind of techno magic creatures have kind of made themselves known with their commander in its center, and you do see they start to kind of lock eyes at your fleeing form. And we're going to use one of the kind of Fabula Ultima resources. It's one of my favorite ones for Blades of the Dark. Is the first time I've come across it. But we are going to be using a clock. So you guys have a clock. It is going to be 4 successes you guys will need. It's going to be against the base difficulty level of 10 for the system. And basically anything that you guys can do, and basically it's kind of similar to a skill adventure for other systems, but basically you're going to need to get 4 of those successes before kind of getting 3 failures on that side, because there's going to be 2 clocks. The first clock is going to be the 4th clock for you escaping. The second clock is going to be a clock with you guys getting ambushed, to see if you guys can make it out of here, away from these techno magic creatures and this kind of foul being that is pursuing you, and start to make your way towards the technomaturge that can help you guys bring balance to the competing elements of the world. So let me throw that clock up, or throw both clocks up. So escape, ambush. Whoops, ambush should have 3. Sweet. So yeah, so kind of with this, you guys can go in any order that you want to on this side. You all are kind of in this crumbling amphitheater, kind of make your way out. You see kind of from where there once was a roof above, you see kind of falling bits of the moon coming through. You also see through the hole that the Granado made, just these techno magic soldiers kind of just glaring, almost charging after you. How do you guys make your way out and find relative safety to begin your journey with Mixie?
Kaede will kick it off by trying to use her spear to bat aside these falling rocks and keep us safe, so that we have a safe path to keep going on.
Perfect. Give me a might and dexterity check.
All right. Can I use a Fabula point to re-roll that, as I'm trying to think about how Resh has been such a good protector, and now it's kind of my chance to protect Mixie from these rocks, and focus on that admiration.
So the admiration is one of your bonds, right?
Oh wait, that's the bond, right? Yeah, I'll go ahead.
I think is what you're looking for.
Well,
so well, it depends, because you can invoke both, but they just have different resolutions. So bonds, if you invoke them, you get a total for however many emotions that you have, up to 3. I'm not sure. I think you may just have 1 with Resh, which would bump you to a 10. Or you could invoke a trait, so it could be whether your origin, theme, I always forget the third one, background, I think it is. And they kind of describe how that plays in the scenario, and that would allow you to re-roll 1 or both of your dice.
Well, I mean, you said it was at 10, so I think that +1 should be enough. So I'll spend the Fabula point for my bond with Resh, to turn that to a 10.
Perfect. Yeah, you kind of feel that. For a while, it looks like you're struggling. This between the rocks, kind of the lunar moon rocks coming from the above, and just the crumbling amphitheater kind of around you. It's hard to kind of both knock these out of the way and kind of push through to the wreckage, trying to find safety, but kind of just feeling the admiration, kind of seeing kind of how Resh's shield was able to block some of that damage, kind of put himself in between himself and Mixie. It kind of carries you through and pushes you into a success, filling one of the pieces of your escape circle on the clock. You guys are up now. Who's up next?
I got something. I don't know if just because this is the whole game is anime as hell. I'm imagining just like me. Kaede is literally like flying from like freaking pillar to pillar above us, like destroying rocks over our heads. But Resh looks up and says, "Good work, soldier," and then rushes forward, slings his shield onto his back, and throws his hammer onto a hook on his waist, because there is a massive column that has fallen into our path. And so Resh is going to use raw strength and just lift this pillar out of our way to clear a path through to the next hallway.
Perfect. Yeah, give me a double might roll.
Here we go. Let's see if I remember. I know how to do that. Oh, look at that. It's so easy. It's never been easier. And all right. Go. Wow, that could not. That's almost as bad as it could possibly have been. I'm definitely going to use a reroll on that because it is my duty. I'm going to spend a Fabula point to reroll both dice.
Perfect.
So I'm going to pick up both of them because they were both very bad and try that again. Much better.
That was better.
So how does that look for a while? You were struggling. How does that duty kind of come into play, and how's that
All
really
right.
kind of push you over?
All right. He starts to lift, and it like at first doesn't move at all, but then he thinks about how it is his. If he doesn't do this, then he will have failed as a knight of the order, and he just braces his legs, lifts with his legs, not with his back, and does some super powered nonsense and just lifts a massive pillar much larger than he is out of the way and lifts it up over his head and ushers the two other heroes to quickly hurry underneath because he cannot hold this up for very long.
Perfect. Yeah, you see, kind of comes crashing down behind you, but you're able to lift this massive pillar, buying some space for the crew to make their way through. And yeah, you guys see, getting near the kind of the edge of this corridor, kind of getting near the end of the amphitheater, getting very close to kind of freedom on the side, or at least a chance to lay low and kind of find your way to where you need to go. But you're at 2 successes, 0 failures on your clocks. So you just need 2 more successes, and you guys will be able to escape for freedom without any other difficulties. Mixie, I'll throw to you. What's Mixie kind of doing to help the crew make their way out of here?
One quick question first. Does this count as a new scene?
Probably same scene still.
Okay. I was curious because of hit point recovery, because I am basically when you enter a new scene, you get your crisis score amount of hit points back. So, as aforementioned, I'm pretty hurt, so I'm keeping an eye on that.
It's fine. It's dramatic this way.
Yes, exactly. And on that note, Mixie is trudging along. As you look on at Mixie, you can tell that mechanically he's struggling to push through, but is as stoic as machines typically are as he's continuing to go through. There's some large debris falling, and he will, he's watching with admiration as his companions are blazing their way through all of the debris that's coming down, and there's some coming from a distance that he's not quite sure that Kaede will be able to muster the strength to break, and he's not quite sure that Resh should be able to get in front of it in time. So he takes just a moment to stop and take aim, and he unleashes his own attack to try to break up this large falling debris.
All right, give me an insight dexterity check.
Insight and 11.
So yeah, you kind of see as Resh is lifting this huge column of this pillar as well. You see kind of some rocks that may fall and kind of injure the poor hero. You're able to blast those out of the way. Earning you guys your 3rd success with only 1 check left to be able to make your way out and escape. What do you guys do? You kind of see these creatures are kind of nipping at your heels as these techno-organic creatures are kind of chasing after you. You guys are near kind of the edge of this, kind of the gate of this amphitheater, kind of making your way towards it, very close to freedom. What do you guys do to push yourselves over the edge?
I think when a creature crashes through one of the walls and it's about to start attacking, but Resh just literally shield up, just throws himself straight at the creature, trying to knock it back through the hole that it just came through. and holding the shield up, at the hole to like basically create a door on this in this wall, just like as the rest of the gang rushes by.
Oh, perfect. Give me a might willpower.
All right, I'm pretty good at those. Might willpower, go. But it doesn't help if I keep rolling ones on on my highest die. This time I'm gonna save my points, so we're just gonna have a failure. The creature continues biting forth, and apparently it's too strong for him, and he's trying to hold it back, but it is pushing back on his shield, and he is not keeping it away as well as he thought he was, or as well as he hoped he might.
Yeah, you see him kind of burst past your shield, kind of slowing Resh down, starting to almost kind of like just pulling you back, kind of pulling you closer in and get you closer into these crushing creatures and falling mayhem that is the remains of the amphitheater, giving you guys your first fail on the ambush clock, as well as you're still one away from your escape clock succeeding. Kaede, Mixie, what are you guys thinking?
Well, Kaede has the right kind of weapon for narrow spaces, so she's gonna rush up besides Resh and try to stab through the small gap in the wall between his shield and the wall to get that creature taken care of, and knock it back so that we can continue on.
All right, give me a dexterity might. You plunge through your spear through this creature, kind of giving Resh the space to begin kind of moving again, and you guys are able to hurtle through the door of this amphitheater, coming out into the fresh air, but you still see kind of rocks, kind of bits and pieces of the moon streaking through the sky. You see kind of the night sky lit up with these just falling, just meteors almost, but looking through, you see the amphitheater crumbling around you. You see far enough away that he can't do you any harm, but you see that creature, that just armored, just metaled magical man, looking back, his gold eyes burning as he sees you guys making your way off into the distance, but you guys are able to escape the amphitheater and hide out from these techno magical forces that are pursuing you, giving you guys enough time to kind of lick your wounds, scene change, get some of those crisis health back, as well as kind of take a look at the map, because right now you guys are at the meeting place between the terrestrials as well as the lunarchs, but you do know that you need to find your way towards the technomaturge, kind of crossing a good bit of this countryside to see if you can find him, and hopefully use him to help unlock Mixie's full power and bring balance to both elements of the world. So we'll kind of head there. You guys are kind of about an hour away from the amphitheater. You guys have spent some time just kind of running, racing, putting some distance between you and those foes. You kind of found a little bit of a cavern to hide out in, and just kind of have that map up in front of a flickering fire as you guys kind of plot your next move. And on the map, you'll see there's kind of 3 different ways you can get to this tower that they believe the technomaturge is in. You see, it kind of depends on which way you all want to progress. Probably the most direct route is through the ruins of your old kingdom. Okay, you see this kingdom that was leveled initially by the Lunarchs, but has been ostensibly abandoned for the last several years. But rumors have kind of eked through, kind of from either travelers that have made their way through, trying to cut through, or even some survivors who've tried to go back. It is plagued with just beasts, like these unnatural mix of undead beasts that are kind of just roving along the lands, making routes through treacherous. This is probably the most direct path, but many have not been able to survive. The only ones you can come across that have kind of come through with their skin attached are those who turn back quickly after seeing the signs. You also kind of see kind of like this vance. It's like an expanse of a mountainous region. I feel like that could be a route. And Resh, you know that some of your people have, especially with kind of the bits of the moon crashing, some of the lunarchs have kind of made their way to the terrestrial areas and brought some of their own technology and set up in the mountains, and they may be able to help you cross that distance. But you know that to get to them, you're gonna have to climb. That could be a pretty dangerous climb through the cliffs, especially with foes pursuing you.
Mhm.
And
I
next,
quickly look at the biceps of my two companions and ponder whether I think they can make it.
Hydraulic pistons.
Kaede is quite comfortable with heights, but we can discuss more when we hear the third option.
Mixie, you see kind of one of the options through, and you see it looks like this deep forest. And this forest could be either between when he first awoken or back when he was just kind of a mindless war machine, but he spent some time in this forest, and it's peaceful to some, but to others, maddening. It could be one that you could either cross a distance that should take you days in an hour, or spend days trekking through what should have taken you several minutes to cross. Some say the forest expands to keep the user within. Some say that it plays illusions upon those within. But all know that for those of the faint mind or without the strong will to push themselves through, it could be their final resting place.
Okay,
Yeah.
there couldn't be a good one. Of course not. Quick question on the rest. You said we regain our crisis HP amount. Do we go up to that amount, or do we heal for half our HP essentially?
At the start of the next scene, at the start of the next scene in which they appear, the player character regains a consciousness and recovers an amount of hit points equal to their crisis score. So if crisis score is half your HP rounded down, you gain that much.
Got it. Perfect.
Do we regain mind points?
Oh, I don't think so, but let me make sure.
Let's see here. Mind points.
It doesn't say in the...
We'll look up that portion. But before we take our quick break, which path is the crew looking to go through?
Kaede is definitely not interested in the forest. She doesn't think we're the right crew for that.
Is there another settlement nearby that might have access to, I don't know, an airship or something?
An airship? Not important.
As this is supposed to be a very Final Fantasy feeling, I'm just wondering if we have a Cid hanging out nearby that's willing to ferry us across.
There is, but they are currently trying to bomb us, so...
Right. I figured Cid would either be an ally or Cid is actually the magical armor guy that's trying to eat us right now. One of the two.
So, with the airships, with Resh, you do know that the crew that is atop that mountainous base does have airships.
Yeah, but how do we get them down to pick us up without going up there? That's the trick.
I think we should take the most direct route. What is the name of the fallen land?
Kenkanai.
I think the most direct route is the one that is most expedient for us, through Kenkanai, or what used to be Kenkanai. He sort of looks embarrassed at having said that.
A shadow.
As loath as I am to have to face my past, I think it still is better than the other two options. I don't trust what'll happen to us if we go into that forest. And as kind as you have been, Resh, the Lunarks in the mountains, we can't be 100% sure that they'll have our best interests in mind.
Mixie will give some droid beeps and affirmation and kind of nod, like, "Yep, let's go."
Very well.
Be ready to fight.
Onward! Resh holds up his hammer and points in the direction as a freeze frame. Commercial, a title screen comes up, says, "We'll be right back."
That fits perfect. We'll take a quick break there. Definitely, if you haven't yet, throw TTJRPG into the chat. Looks like we've got 4 its so far. So make sure to throw that in and get you a chance to win a free copy of the Fabula Ultima PDF for this system. But yeah, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. So we'll see you all soon. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of Fabula Ultima, our March game of the month. Definitely make sure to throw TTJRPG into the chat. Unfortunately, Nightbot decided to take a break, or during our break it is not working for me, so I am keeping track manually and throwing you guys into the Wheel of Names website that'll do a little cool spinny thing. And if I can figure out OBS quick enough, I'll share it to the screen so you guys can see that aspect as well. Yeah, technology is against us today, which fits the theme of this adventure as we go back in with our crew who just escaped from the amphitheater with this unknown presence kind of making themselves making itself known and trying to invite Mixie to join it and make a very hybrid magical technological relationship. The group just decided to go through the ruins of Kaide's homeland that has been rumored to be plagued by undead and just treacherous to travel through to make their way to the Technomaturgist Tower and potentially find the secret sauce that's needed to unlock Mixie and bring balance to the magical as well as technological worlds that inhabit this planet. But before we do that, in like true Final Fantasy-esque sense, we're going to use one of the things I've never done in an RPG before, but it's one of the things they recommend for Fabula Ultima. We're going to do a GM scene. So you guys are gonna get to see as you guys kind of we freeze framed with our Resh holding his hammer out, pointing towards Kaede's homeland. You guys can see the camera pan out, and you get to see the ruins of this amphitheater. You see this giant of a man covered in armor, breathing but seeming to be powered. You have his movements almost sounding like robotics as he's chugging through the remnants of this once peaceful scene of peoples coming together from across both the world and the moon. He kind of comes through. You see him crush the chest of one man who's kind of the man in the blue robes that was initially standing next to Resh. You see him kind of plant an armored boot down, and you see one of those techno magic soldiers kind of runs up and goes, "Sorry to report, sir, they got away." And you see this guy turn his golden eyes upon him and goes, "Incompetence. Well, you know what we must do. Magic and technology cannot come into balance. We need it first to clear the board, to clear the weak and the unwilling away, so we can build our new future. Secure the Technomaturge, and do it in the name of Gravias." And you see the guy kind of the little Technomaturge, or little techno mage, kind of pounds on his chest and goes, "For Gravias!" And you see as like this hulking being who you learned his name's Gravias starts to walk away, just crushing the remnants that was once this alliance to help save two worlds. You see his troops begin to mobilize. You see rows and rows of these techno magic soldiers beginning to start marching with some of those kind of floating bomb beings and kobold mages arrayed around them as they begin to head off into the distance towards Technomaturge's tower. But we're going to kick it back over to where the party is. You guys see kind of Resh's hammer finally lower after the freeze frame. And you all are starting to make your way out to Kinkrad, Kaede's old home, the land of her birth, where she used to be a princess, but is now desolate, barren, and probably fairly dangerous. Before we head out there, is there anything the crew wanted to do, kind of that little kind of pit stop campsite, before we kind of keep pressing on with the group?
Just quickly, Resh just wants to look at the other two. What do you think those things were? They don't appear to be anything like you, MX-13. So what are they?
I mean, they certainly had technological aspects, so I don't trust them one bit. Who knows what sort of monstrous machina they were created with.
Right.
Mixes.
Well, it appears that they have twisted the magic of the soul into some horrible, blasphemous thing using... He just like looking directly at Kaede with his teeth kind of gritted, like blasphemous magic used to do unholy things.
Mixie's just sitting still, just kind of staring off in the distance, just nothing to add, just staring.
But we're wasting time. We need to keep moving.
Perfect. You guys set out. And Kaede, what did your homeland look like back in the good old days before the Lunarchs, before Resh's people came and laid waste? What did this kingdom look like? What was its kind of its features?
So it's sort of there's this great stretch of like plains with all these tribes of barbarians that would rove around and raid various villages, and this the place where I lived had strong stone walls that were built thousands of years before, not even by my people, but by some previous society, and we, fleeing the barbarians, found this place and called it our own. The walls kept us safe from the barbarians, but that all changed when the flying airships of the Lunarchs were able to easily get over the walls. They provided no defense to the invading armies, and that's how our kingdom was destroyed. There's sort of one large central castle in the middle with like tiers of different buildings stretched out, and it has kind of dragon iconography all around it. There hasn't been dragons here in centuries, but that's kind of the leading theory of who originally built this castle on the walls of this city.
And as you get, and kind of, you have that vision in your head, kind of before the airships came. But as you get to kind of like the boundaries of your territory, the boundaries of your former kingdom, it's a far cry from what it once was. You see bits and pieces of stone around some of the kind of the same stones that once ordained the walls that protected your people, but now more similar to rubble, but just kind of strewn about. Some of them still bearing that dragon iconography, as you see them kind of just half buried by the dirt and mud around them. These palings, before we kind of see clear across them, kind of see the blue sky up above, almost seems to still be clouded. And it's not like a cloud, just from a cloudy day. This almost feels, and kind of as you see it, you almost feel the same smoke, the same kind of acrid black air that was hovering when the airships came through and started to drop their weapons and kind of burn and bombed your people out. And you see this just thick black haze kind of just hovering over like a fog across these plains. And you see as you kind of start to kind of maneuver your way in, the ground's fairly treacherous. Like certain spots you step, it almost feels like the dirt kind of sucks you in. It takes a while to kind of jank your foot out of it. And it almost feels too like as you get in, they're being watched. Like, that somebody is marking your presence. How does the group proceed forward?
Nixie, being a tactical bot, is going to be on very like high alert to what's going on. So it's like continuing to move forward as planned, but is definitely like you can see him like kind of pivoting around and looking around a lot at any sort of sound or possible hiding place that a fellow sharpshooter might be hanging out.
I think actually Resh is a little distracted. Resh, I mean, just trying to, after digging his massive boots out of yet another hole full of mud, he's just going to look around at this desolate landscape and say, not really looking, just looking at the ground, just saying, from what I hear, this was a beautiful place once. What was done here was shameful. And that is all the words that are able to be wrenched out of Resh for a little while.
Yeah, Kaide's kind of just like not focused at all and just like kind of rambling like, oh, that's where the hole in the wall is that I would kind of sneak out and go explore outside the bounds of the city, and that over there is the training ground for the group of hunters that I learned my spear skills with, and that balcony is where I lowered the rope to get away when they came to capture the royalty, and just not even paying attention to if anyone's listening or not, and just kind of like going through all this trauma that she experienced, but like by speaking it out loud, I guess.
You guys are able to progress that way as Kaede kind of reminisces about kind of the ruins of what was her former home, and you kind of have that same feeling. Kind of the air above is dense. It feels like you're being watched. But probably the thing that catches your eyes kind of catches your eyes, catches your ears first. And Kaede and Resh, probably different feelings evoked as this kind of whirring buzz of engines and technology kind of just rush from overhead. Different emotions probably played to you all. Resh just sounds like the familiar hum of the airships that you've probably grown up with, maybe flown apart during your missions. You definitely got that familiar hum of technology that you're used to. Where Kaede, this is the rush, the buzz of the things that destroyed your homeland. And you kind of hear it. You can't see it yet, but you hear that roar coming from above you through this thick, dark haze.
Would I recognize it and like know whether that sound is a threat or not?
Oh, well, I mean, you'd recognize it as an airship, so I'll leave that to you where Resh is on that.
Okay, but I can't like tell if it's like, oh, that's a warship, or if it's like, oh, that sounds like a yacht up above us. Like, I can't tell the difference between that kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. Give me a double insight check.
Good. I'm very bad at that. That's my lowest stat twice. Holy crap! It's a fumble.
I thought say you
Fumble.
could maybe re-roll it with your background or whatever, but not with a fumble.
And I get an opportunity with that. So, well, with this crew, so fortunately, this is the first time we actually did it. So with Fabula Ultima, there's two ways: there's crit successes and fumbles. Fumbles happen when in the situation where somebody rolls two nat ones. Where crit successes happen, somebody rolls double on their dice, sixes or above, and you get to roll on the opportunity table. So let me pull up my opportunity table because I did not think that was going to happen right there. Man, you hear that roar, and like as you kind of spend that moment thinking of like, well, is this warship, pleasure ship, or not, you kind of just hear it intensify. You feel the ground around you rumbling. Kaede, you feel this first, it almost feels like it's getting hotter as well as like this rumble, kind of the roar of the airship intensifies. You could swear for a second, like you're back at that day. You can feel the flames around you. It almost feels like it's getting warmer. But as you look around in Nixie and Resh, you can tell they are in that same, have that same experience as well. But as you see this, eventually the fog clears a bit, and you see this just raggedy airship. Resh, this airship, like, now that you can see it, you can tell that this is an old airship. This is definitely not one that has been used in the last several years on this side. You're actually kind of surprised as you look at it that it's still in the air because there's holes. You see like vines growing out of part of it. A hole looks like straight through it to one side. You can see through it on there, but you do see it roaring in the distance. And you guys feel like these flames kind of looking up and seeing in the distance too, out of the fog, the smog that was kind of clouding the area starts to thin. You start to see undead around. Kaede, you see people bearing and actually Kaede, what was your kingdom sigil? Like what if you have that thought out?
Let's see. It would be probably like a shield with a golden dragon wrapped around it, kind of like clutching to the top of it with its tail curling around one side would be like this, the symbol.
You see people bursting out of the ground, kind of flesh falling off of them as they claw their way through the dirt, all having this sigil, that shield with the dragon wrapped around them. And you see, kind of as they come through, the roar of the airship intensifies, the heat, you can almost, there's no flames around you, but you swear there are flames licking at your flesh. And we're gonna do another clock on this side. As you guys kind of see all of this coming through, you have to kind of press through and see how you can protect and end this threat. But you do see this all happening all at once. Kind of feeling that roar, feeling those flames, and just seeing these would once have been your subjects coming through and making their way towards you. Let me throw the clock up there and see how the crew reacts. And actually,
Cousin Jimmy.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what are you saying, Bixie?
I was making a side comment of, "Oh no, not my cousin Jimmy."
Oh,
Basically. To clarify, the heat seems to be coming from the airship, or is that not correct?
no, yeah. It seems like it's the heat's intensifying with the roar of the airship, but it just seems like it's coming from all around you.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like it's definitely in concert, but not caused by it.
I see.
All right, so we're being swarmed by zombies as an airship flies up overhead atop of us. I think that I need to clear a path for my allies to be able to escape and take cover, because we do not want to be bombarded from the air, and that is a recipe for death. So, I think I'm going to start playing whack-a-mole with zombie heads. rushing up forward, just trying to almost spinning around with like his hammer and his shield, knocking zombies out of the way left and right to try to clear a path for my allies to take cover. And he's going to point over at a bit of crumbling building like, there, take cover. We need to get out of the open air.
Perfect. Yeah, so give me give me a might and insight check here. But I am going to claim my opportunity that you got from the fumble on that side, and I'm going to add in one on the failure clock. One of the cool things you could do. So if you guys do, if anybody gets an opportunity, a double or crit success on this clock opportunity, it gives you one of them is progress. So I'm taking my progress on this one. And as you kind of start to clear that path away, you hear this familiar whine coming down. Like, has Resh ever been part of our airship raid before? I should say.
I'm going to say yes. He's been a soldier for a long time, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay. You've heard this whine before. Usually, like, you're kind of from the safety of an airship, you hear that whine and kind of see one of the bombs disappear. But fortunately, this time you hear the whine, and usually where it's getting fainter, this time it's getting stronger. It is kind of getting closer and closer and closer. This is going to be one of the failures here. Everybody give me a double dexterity check to avoid some damage here.
Right. Again?
Jeez, Rush, you need some new dice.
You still have two
buy these ones.
Still...
I can't re-roll a fumble.
Oh yeah, it's a fumble shit. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Refresh your screen or something. Yeah.
Change your dice settings.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, yeah, Kaede, Mixie, you guys are able to. Kaede, you've heard these whine before as well, but you know you need to kind of just move the hell out of the way. Mixie, your tactical computer just kind of just comes through and was like, move. But Resh, like this time, being on the other end of the destruction, something about it just slows you, just almost. I would say causes you to reflect, but causes your mind to almost overload for a second, and you see that bomb come and you see it burst, and the flames kind of lick up again. You feel that heat that's been on you just intensify, and you feel like this, like you feel it's fire, but almost feels like it's in your head as well. And you will take 7 points of damage.
Right. It's a thing. I haven't mentioned this before, but I have been doing it. I have a thing that makes all damage I take reduced by 2. So I only take 5.
Nice.
But this should hopefully be now your time. Might and insight check as you kind of make your way through. And hopefully the dice gods are forgiving you for whatever you've done today.
If this one is also a fumble, I'm going to have to do something. All right. An 8 is still not very good.
Unfortunately, same thing with this one's the standard DC of 10. So if it stands, that will be a failure.
I think hold on real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna spend another point. I still have 1 left. I'm gonna spend another point and re-roll just the might die, because I actually rolled as high as possible on the insight one. So I'm just rolling a d10.
Nice. And one thing I'll mention too, oof.
Are you kidding me? It's the same number.
I was gonna say, is it lower or better? Yeah, that's rough. Good thing though,
that's rough.
Is you'll get so when the villain shows up in Fabula Ultima, which you'll probably see Gravius again during this encounter, you get a Fabula Ultima point or Fabula point when he shows up.
All right. Well, I was supposed to describe exactly what was causing that, and I think my background is what I would have evoked, because I would have been using my knowledge of this kind of weaponry, but apparently it wasn't enough. So
your foot got stuck in the mud.
A zombie is currently holding me back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they are dragging you back, and you see as they see kind of like your clothing, you just kind of get the things that announce you as a Lunarch. They are dragging you back, trying to drag you down and hold you here. You hear them mumbling like, "This is our grave. Now it is yours. This is our grave. Now it is yours." As they kind of keep pulling you back and back. That is pumping up the crew to 2 failures. I'm not going to double dip you on that double fumble there, so don't worry about that going up another failure. You're good there. Uh, Rest of the crew, who is up next?
So Kaede is gonna rush forward and use her spear to try to free Resh from the zombie that's grabbed him. In the previous combat, she was like intense but like excited, like jumping around. Like you could see like she was enjoying the thrill of battle. In this scenario, she's completely stone faced, no expression, and probably tears coming down her eyes at this point as she just focuses on what needs to get done. And it's going to try to help free Resh from the zombie that's grabbing onto him.
Perfect. Give me a might and willpower. And while you're rolling that, does she have any like? Does she wear her family sigil? I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all over her armor.
Nice. Yeah. How does that look as you kind of free Resh? These people trying to pull him down to their graves.
So, maybe she the first one she like shoves back with her spear, and then like 3 more come, and she's like, "I am Kaede Ushikai," and holds up her spear, and something in their undead memory triggers, and they kind of back off for a second. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. As you see, as they see kind of the sigil upon you and hear you announce yourself as their princess, for a moment they are like not stunned, awed for a moment. And you hear them kind of like almost turn and speak in unison. Our princess returned. Protect the princess. Bring her down to the grave. Protect. And you see like eyes focused upon you as they turn and almost unhanding Rush as they look towards their once and future princess. 1 success, 2 failures. Mixie, what are you thinking?
Mixie's not really thinking. Mixie is on tactical reaction mode, and as these zombies are approaching, is going to continue to try to make it towards that cover that Rush pointed out earlier, but is just kind of like firing away as they are heading that way. Still trying to cut a path for everyone to come along.
Perfect. Yeah, give me a dexterity and insight check there. Nice, that'll be a success. Yeah, you're able to kind of start blasting through, kind of clearing that path, getting you guys closer to kind of this shelter that Resh has found that hopefully allow you to bypass most of this undead fury. Yeah, you see these creatures. They almost seem all struck as their princess has returned to them and are trying to protect them in the only way they know how. What do you guys do?
I have an idea. After all the chaos happening around us, I look up at the airship flying up overhead and realize, oh no, we're running out of time. I see a targeting reticle appear on Kaede's back, and suddenly I am there with my shield blocking an intense shot being fired at Kaede from the airship above. So I am just there with my shield trying to block it because I know that we don't have time to get to cover.
Perfect. Give me a might and willpower there.
All right. I believe in myself. Okay, thank God.
There you go.
I say that every
Correct.
time.
There's just a beep, 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 and then suddenly you just hear an explosion right behind you, Kaede, but there's like a shadow over you as the shield is just above your head, and Resh is standing there, perhaps uncomfortably close, standing with my shield above your head.
If only you were here 13 years ago.
Spoiler alert, he was.
Oh God, no.
Sorry. Couldn't help it.
A plot thickens.
See that bomb explode overhead? You hear these undead grumbling. Protect the princess. Bring her down. Protect the princess. The kingdom has fallen. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna try to, I guess, talk to these zombies some more, but more, trying to command them and saying like, I don't need to be protected anymore. I need to save the world. Let us pass. And just kind of give like a royal command.
All right, give me a willpower and insight check. Crit success.
Hey.
So you get to look at the opportunity table. I'm not sure if it's in roll 22 or not roll 20. Foundry 2. Is it? It probably is in there somewhere. But if not, it's on page 41 of the core rulebook. And you get to pick an opportunity and kind of describe how it'll fit the scene. And as long as it's reasonable, that'll come into being.
Let's see.
It's faux pas. One of the zombies says something really embarrassing.
One of the zombies gets canceled.
I'll go with progress so we can finish up this undead threat. And I'd like to think that they just completely follow. Or
That'll already bring it to 4. So in case you want something different,
okay. Yeah. Let's go with
Plot twist. The airship is there to help us.
well, let's go with information. I want to see if I can spot a useful clue or detail about what's going on around here with this airship or something else.
Yeah. You see, as you command them, as you kind of exert that royal authority, and you see this undead as they saw you. You saw awe, you didn't see hope, but you did see kind of like this. These were the defenders of the land. These are the people that literally did give their lives to protect your former kingdom. And as you convey the command, they stop and they kind of look at you questioningly. And you kind of look around and you start to see the fog does abate, and you kind of figure out, especially with some of your magical background, this horror was created not just due to the destruction on here, but due to this current imbalance between the Mahina and the magic, and probably due to a bit of that threat by that person that you saw back at the amphitheater. You realize that this imbalance is what's keeping them from being able to rest. But at least the soldiers, those undead who once served Kaide's house, they do seem to be like not snapping to attention, but they seem to be listening to your next command. You do see kind of the airship fly overhead and disappear off back into the fog. The heat seems to fade away, but you do see these undead men standing, waiting for the next command.
Well, we need to get to the other side of the city, and I don't know what other kinds of threats we might face on the way. So turning to the undead, I'll say, protect the three of us as we travel through the city, and I'll lead the way forward.
You see the undead, like it's not like clean. It's not it's not crisp, I should say, but they do fall into formation, almost shamble into formation. But they do kind of start to form like a little perimeter around you all, and slowly begin to trudge with you as you guys cross the remains of your former kingdom. But with that, in the distance, as you guys continue to cross, you see like this tower sticking out, kind of just on the just outside the boundaries of your former territory, Kaede. This tower, you know for sure, wasn't there 13 years ago. But it strikes up. You see arcane symbols kind of surrounding it, Kaede. Resh, you notice like some of these kind of engines and kind of electrical components powering it through, mixed in with those sigils. And Mixie, you've got like this weird sensation. It almost feels like you have no recollection of being here. But with your new newfound sense of feeling, I don't even know if Mixie can put it into words, but it feels like home.
And this is still within the city that we're seeing this?
No, this is kind of on the outside. You guys have crossed through the territory with your undead escort. The undead are still with you too, but you guys are kind of through Kaede's former homeland.
Resh looks very creeped out by all these creatures just sort of following us.
And they typically they avoid meeting your eyes, Resh. But every now and then, like especially like you can feel like you're being watched. And like if you look at them, they'll look away. But every time, especially if you look up at the corner of your eyes, you can see a lot of them just hate burrowing in their eyes, just staring at you, almost hovering closer to you than they are to the other sides of your group, almost trying to put themselves sometimes between you and their princess.
Good, great, love it. Oh, so happy that's happening. But it appears we've reached our destination, he said, trying to ignore what was going on around him. We're almost there.
I'll kind of turn to the undead and say, you belong in Kenkanai. I won't take you any further, but we will deal with this unbalance, and then you'll finally be able to rest. And I'll kind of bow to them. Thank you for protecting me.
You see, they bow as well, but one of them holds up his hand, and you see kind of like on him, like definitely was like a royal guard, but also kind of the captain of like kind of the city guard. And he goes, "We can help. We said we will serve until death, but some will serve even after. Let us assist."
Very well. I'd be happy to have you continue on with us. And I'll kind of turn to Resh and say, see, that's what technology is lacking, is like this, if these were robots following orders, they wouldn't carry on like this. But they have the will to act and continue to serve their princess.
Mixie kind of pops up. It's like, actually, programming we would always continue on with, regardless.
We can discuss this later. I will say, if these were robots, then they wouldn't have a horrifying soul trapped inside a dead body, but that's not important right now.
You hear them like growl as you start to speak. It's like this kind of like in the background.
We need to move quickly.
And as you guys look at this tower, this kind of just blend very like Mixie of kind of like technology, arcana. You do see like kind of when you get closer, kind of walk through. Initially, you kind of just saw like those blends. But you do see like kind of signs of a recent battle. It looks like you see smoke kind of billowing from one of the windows. You see the doors in the tower blasted open, almost like either a battering ram or some crazy source of power blew them through. You see bodies around, mostly of those techno-organic soldiers that you came across before. It looks like that. It looks like this tower is right in the thick of it. How do you guys proceed forward?
Probably as quickly as possible. It seems like things are starting to get more and more intense, and not clear how much more time we'll have.
Excitedly.
Agreed. With a sense of urgency.
Perfect. You guys rush in, making your way into this just arcane technological tower that kind of spirals up towards the sky, just maneuvering through, kind of avoiding the bodies of those just Magitech soldiers that have been just discarded around the battlefield, with your undead accompaniment kind of coming in lockstep with you. And you guys make your way into the tower. And as you guys start to climb, you don't hear sounds of struggle, but you hear kind of sounds like, well, three distinct sounds that take a moment to pick out. You hear one that sounds like almost a hammer hitting an anvil, kind of just ringing out rhythmically through the tower. You hear the crackle of electricity, of lightning, kind of with every now and then a boom coming out, but just kind of a steady, just electrical crackle. And you hear a low wail. It kind of comes into a moan. Occasionally it'll be like, please, no! And you just kind of hear just this wail echoing through, but almost overshadowed by this clunk of the hammer and electrifying blast as you guys begin to make your way up. And as you guys start to climb too, you get to like kind of this level. It's about midway up through the tower, and you see all of these experiments. You see kind of arcane sigils drawn on chalkboards around, with kind of like next to the arcane sigils, like these blueprints for different designs. You see kind of these vats holding kind of these different arcane components. But the thing that probably catches your eye first is you see these magic troopers, these ones you've come across back in the amphitheater, as well as in the kind of the bodies littering the outside. You see 6 of them approaching, kind of axes, their arms forming into axes, their arms forming into spears, their arms even forming into guns and blasters, beginning to approach the group. What do you guys do?
Get in formation. Once again, Resh raises his shield, holds up his hammer, and tries to make sure he's standing in the front, looking like Reinhardt as always.
Kaede will just start charging forward, saying, "Get out of our way, or we'll make you get out of our way." Spear in both hands.
Amita Bayo.
Kaede, you feel a hand, like, not stop you, but kind of like grab your shoulder, and kind of pull you back, but not like jerk you back, if that makes sense. It's kind of like trying to hold you back without like throwing you off balance. Probably not the best hand to look at. You see it has pieces of flesh hanging off of it. This one of the fingers is just pure bone, but you see that same guard captain look back at you and goes, "We'll fight here. Go on. Bring back the glory to our kingdom." And you see him and the remains of the old kingdom's guard kind of take formation and kind of prepare themselves to charge against this troop of Magitech soldiers. Go ahead.
So, is there like a way we can go around them to continue going up the tower?
Yeah, you do see kind of to the left of them, there is kind of another winding staircase that will take you guys further up. And you do see this like the undead charge, and like these magic troops are definitely like they didn't feel pain. They didn't seem to have fear when you guys fought them last time. But these undead are already dead. They are they are recklessly charging through. They are like you see one of them impale himself on the spear just so he can like get his claws into reach to just start raking across this Magitech soldier. One of them with the people that are shooting with the blaster, like just taking bolts through, takes his arm off, but this guy still charges through. And you hear the guard yell, "For the kingdom! For the princess," as he charges through and just starts to lay waste, giving you guys definitely enough distraction to kind of safely extradite yourselves and begin to climb the winding tower.
On the way up, Resh takes just a second to salute the soldiers before rushing off into the distance.
As we're climbing, I'll just say, once this is all taken care of, I'm going to make sure every single one of them is given a proper burial.
And as you guys climb, you hear that same kind of like anvil and hammer sound intensifying, like these deep thuds and clanks, almost just echoing through your eardrums in your head. You hear the electrifying intensify. You don't hear the whale speaking anymore, but you do hear just kind of this low, almost pitiful moan. Just kind of just get louder and louder until you guys burst through the last set of stairs through this door, and you see a pretty chaotic scene in front of you. You see this man that you came across, this being almost that you came across before, this armored creature with those piercing gold eyes. You see him standing over like this arcane swirl of energy. You see like this just like swirling through kind of through his hand, through this device, just this bluish green swirl with bolts of like kind of just straight electricity arcing through it, just creating that whirling noise. And you see his hand above it, and another hand kind of this hammer, his anvils through it, and you see kind of restrained by chain and magic, this older man. He's got kind of darkened skin, this deep gray beard. He has like glasses on, but one of the kind of just the lenses is completely knocked out. His face is bloodied. His eye is like almost bruised completely over. But he wears an amulet that kind of bears the symbol of the same. Like, that looks to be the same as a tower that you guys saw before. He's the one moaning, initially kind of the one saying, "Please stop." As Gravius begins to just keep hammering and hammering at this device, and you see it swirling with additional arcane energy. But as you guys burst on the scene, Gravius looks towards you and it goes, "Mixie, this is your last chance to make the right choice. There's true power here. We can unleash it, and only those who know both technology, the Mahina, and magic, the arcane, will live, survive, and be able to rule over what could become our new paradise. Everlasting, without limit. You know what you need to do."
I do, and I take aim and shoot him.
As you take Abe, he goes, "Pathetic." And you see he kind of gathers his hammer. Yeah, we're gonna get into initiative. And you see as he kind of begins to kind of face you, you see like this like anvil just swirling with this arcane energy, and you see like it is like building. It's building towards a crescendo. And with this combat, there's gonna be two things going along. So there's gonna be the combat with Gravius, along with and you kind of see as he comes into focus, two creatures kind of appear alongside him. You see like this lantern kind of emerge from the anvil, filled with this arcane energy, almost just buzzing with it. And you see kind of from the swirl of energy, a lightning wheel takes shape, and you see it crackling and buzzing as it prepares itself for battle. Yeah, there'll be two things going here. So we're going to be using one more clock, or our last clock for today, uh, to see if you guys can both stop the ritual as well as defeat Gravius. So Gravius will be a typical combat scenario. You guys have to beat him through that side. But he's going to get this ritual going through, this ritual to kind of further upend the balance of magic and technology, and just lay waste to what remains of the Lunarch society as well as terrestrials, creating this new paradise for people like him. So with that too, one of the actions, I'm not sure if you guys saw it in there, is there's an objective action, which is pretty cool, which will allow you to make it a check to help achieve your objective and move a clock forward. So you guys get to decide with your actions kind of what you want to do. If you want to continue the fight, continue the objective. This will be a 5 check on that side for the stopping of the ritual, to see if you can get that through. There won't be a failure clock on this one, but Gravius is poised to attack. Whoever wants to be the party leader, go in there and nominate yourself party leader, and give me an initiative check.
Seems like it makes sense for Mixie to be doing it. They are the one that is starting off by firing a weapon and also is the fastest of us.
Fair enough.
Sounds good to me. Roll that beautiful initiative.
And also, while we're running for that roll, if you haven't yet, throw TTJRPG into the chat. Nightbot is kind of still acting up, but I am keeping track of everybody on my own. We'll do a little wheel thing there. I've got 6 people in here so far, so make sure to get yourself in and get a chance to win. All right.
None of us succeeded on that.
That was a rough one.
Sorry, guys.
We are a very slow party in general. We're all wearing armor.
Yeah, you see just Gravius block through, utilizing his hammer to kind of just deflect that bullet, and you see he is poised, ready to kind of just begin his onslaught. And he is, Mixie, he is done with you. You see he comes rushing towards you and just goes, I tried to give you a gift and you're too foolish to accept it. I thought you'd be part of us and be part of the next. Enlightened, but you will join the scrap heap with these others. And you see he lifts his hammer and just starts spinning. And just like straight, like you see some of the arcane energy kind of from the anvil strengthen into that whirlwind, and he starts spinning his hammer, gathering steam, and he is going to attack Mixie and Kaede because he's using multi-attack.
That's a physical attack.
That's a physical attack.
Mrs. Kaede.
This is me.
Solid. You see he kind of starts spinning through, trying to gather you both in, but luckily you guys are able to kind of protect yourself. Your armor's coming through, and keep yourselves from falling prey to his attack. Party, it is your turn now.
I'd like to kick things off, if y'all don't mind, by trying to breach his armor.
Go for it.
Worked well last time.
Attack. Oh, big roll.
Nice.
19, no damage, but his equipped armor is destroyed.
Nice. How does that look?
So he comes in with the whirlwind, but I like duck underneath the spinning hammer, and then he kind of like stops the whirlwind, and it's sort of like dizzy for a second, and then I go and like stab the spear up under a piece of armor, and then like flick it off and say, "Get him right there," and point out the weak spot I've created.
Perfect. As you do that, you see this arcane lantern just kind of floating through with this just bizarre light. And you see it starts to flicker and flare. You see the arcane energy discharge out towards you. Okay.
Physical or magic?
Magic.
Okay, that'll hit.
So you see that bolt of lightning, kind of the same lightning that is covering through the anvil, come arcing out towards you and catches you just unawares for 11 damage. Perfect. Party, you back up?
I can go because and then if I go last next turn, I can extend my time as much as possible. You still need some hit points, Mixie?
I could use them. I'm at 30 of 45, so I'm not limping at this point, but I'm not
do
very
we get
far
a
north to
scene?
half.
Do we get a scene change since the campfire?
Oh yeah, you did get a scene change since the campfire.
Oh, well, then in which case I'm full health. Never mind.
Yep. Okay. In that case, I will just I'm gonna actually take the guard action again, and this time I'm just gonna rush forward. I'm covering Mixie and just gonna say, "Take aim and fire. I have your back." And that's my turn.
Perfect. As you kind of rush through and guards and start to protect the crew, you do start to see the lightning wheel begin to spin, and you see like this arcane energy gathering up inside of it, almost similar to that lantern, almost as if it's feeding off of what was kind of feeding off of this anvil, of this world-shaping device. And Mixie, this time it's going to target you. And you see it just unleashed with this lightning barrage.
Oof.
Probably misses, all right?
Yeah, that'll miss.
Nice. Yeah, you see that lightning magic kind of arc towards you, but luckily you're able to get your defenses up, and it just arcs away, blasting through one of the wombs. Mixie, I think you're up.
Okay. Mixie, taking advantage of the cover, is going to go ahead and use their Shadow Strike ability again. So we're going to do that might roll for another 5. And we're going to do that attack roll. I am going to attack the big bad guy. Button. There's the button. There it is. So if he happened to have hit, that'll actually be 21 damage, but I doubt he hit.
He wouldn't have before, but luckily getting rid of that armor does allow that to hit.
Oh, all right. Very good. 21 damage.
You see him kind of flinch back as that blast comes through. His eyes, his gold piercing eyes, focus upon you. And yeah, that'll be the next round. You see this maelstrom of energy around the anvil kind of beginning to expand and expand on that side. Let's make a quick check there and see how that goes. It is continuing to expand. It doesn't seem like anything's taken shape yet, but you do see that energy kind of just expand, and Gravius looking on pleased before he looks to Mixie. And you see he drops the hammer. And he just rushes through, bare fist, coming at you and goes, "I will beat you to death with my bare hands." and he launches at you with a wicked-looking punch. Like he charges up. You see arcane energy gathering towards his fist as he comes at you, Mixie.
This is melee.
Melee up.
He
Guard
cannot.
is up.
Yep.
Guard is up, so he can't hit me.
Mixie cannot be targeted by melee attacks.
Sweet. Oh, yeah. You see he tries to kind of punch at you, but luckily Resh's shield is caught in the mix. You see he tries to switch to Resh, but I don't think it will hit Resh, will it?
Nope.
Yes,
Definitely
you see cleanly blocking with that shield as the villain tries to bring you down.
You can't ignore me.
Nice.
PCs, you're up.
I'm gonna try to strike at the arcane lantern, see if I can take care of that. I'll roll that attack. 16 to hit for 20 damage.
That'll hit.
Nice. Yeah, maybe because I imagine it's a little bit off the side. I like throw my spear at the lantern and then jump up and get up right to it and pull the spear out as I just for flavor. Get it from a distance, but now I'm in melee with the lantern. Don't want it shooting at us while we're dealing with other things.
Yeah, you come through, throw that spear, you break through a chunk of the lantern's flesh, or lantern's kind of armored exterior. You see arcane energy leaking out from it. It has definitely been bloodied there, and it definitely you see it kind of just almost stuttering as it hovers in the air. Its energy kind of flaring in and out. All right, the lightning wheel is going to go. You see it begin to spin again, lightning gathering. You see this bolts of lightning kind of arc out, this time towards you, Kaede, as it unleashes upon you. Will a 12 beat your magical defense?
Yes.
You see that lightning arc out for 23 damage as it just bursts through you. You guys smell this reek of ozone, and for a moment, Kaede lights up, and you can see the bones within.
Yeah.
You know, can I
Right.
actually take this damage? I want to take this damage with my
Yeah,
protect
alright.
ability. I'm going to take the damage. I still have my guard up, so at least the damage gets cut in half for me. So what? Half of 23, we round down in this game, right?
Yep, so it'll be 11.
All right, 11 damage. Sweet.
And just make sure you can guard and protect too, right? Or guard and
Guard is an action. Protect is a special ability I have. Just anytime
no,
anybody takes. Sorry.
I was
go ahead.
thinking you could guard and get the resistance and still stop somebody from getting melee.
Guard was
yeah,
his action from last round.
yes.
If that
Guard-
makes any
yeah.
Guard is yeah. And then protect is an ability I can use as a reaction to somebody else taking damage.
Perfect. And the guard lets you get the resistance along with stopping somebody from being attacked or targeted by melee.
Yes.
Okay.
When you guard, you can choose to cover somebody, which is preventing them from being attacked in melee range.
Sweet.
This is all I do, baby. All right. So sorry, it was 11 damage minus 2. Or sorry, no, it's
Nice.
it's 23 damage minus 2 and then cut in half, so 21.
Perfect. So 10 damage on that side.
All right.
All right. PCs. Yeah.
Guess that means me. Because again, we're letting you cook for as long as we can there. So I am going to go ahead and take another shot at General Grievous over there because I can't remember his name. Sorry. Just a regular shot, not a shadow shot. Taking aim and totally misses. I assume a 6 doesn't hit, but maybe.
Unfortunately not. You see kind of the remains of his armor kind of soak up the shot.
And
Alright.
that'll be it.
You see the arcane lantern kind of still sparking from Kaene's shot, gather up its electricity. You see it unleash a discharge against Dresh. But I don't think that'll even hit. Yes, you see that.
No, it does. My magic defense is very low.
Okay, it was a 6. So unfortunately, that will hit. You see that arcing through, but luckily you have your guard up. Reduce that down to 5 damage.
4 even. Oh, dang. What was my HP at? Oh, no, I deleted my HP. What was it at? No, I have 0 HP now. No, I'm dead.
I have no clue what it was.
I was at 50. I was at 50. Okay, so
Okay.
take 4. Okay.
All right. Who hasn't gone yet? Has everybody gone?
Me. Yes, I
Yeah,
still
Rescue's like reacted to the attack against me, but haven't gone yet.
I haven't gone yet. All right. After taking that attack, Resh and like blocking all this stuff, Resh is gonna look at the rest of his team and just say, "I trust you can take care of yourselves." And he's going to rush and do the objective action, and find it by. And I hope. What am I doing for that?
I'll let you to kind of describe what the fiction is on this side. Yeah, describe, because you see like this arcane anvil swirling with just like this raw exposed magical might with the kind of technology of the anvil kind of almost amplifying it. You see kind of this raw mixture of arcane and technological. Resh, what do you do to disrupt this as you see it gaining power and gaining strength?
Resh rushes over to this techmaturgical machine and just like looks at it for a moment and just decides in his head, I have no idea what this is, and so he's just gonna smash it.
Well, smash it. Yeah, give me a might and a willpower check as you try to fight your way through this arcane swirl and bring your hammer down.
Sure. Might and willpower can do. Go.
Nice.
Is that enough?
Yeah, you crash through the barrier, smashing into the anvil, and you see the arcane storm start to dim, start to kind of almost fade out, but it picks back up, weaker than before, but still expanding, and you got your first success on the books.
All right. I can still take that protect thing one more time now that I've taken my turn, but I will not have the resistance because I did not take the guard action this time. So if I block for you, it's going to hurt for real.
There, and back to the start of the turn, you see Gravius looks up and he looks angered that you would strike at his holy instrument, and you see him fist blazing, and he goes, "Makes you watch as I deal with these inferiors." And he comes running towards you, and he almost seems like he stutter steps. Like you see him one point right by Mixie, next point like this 8-foot dude is right in your grill trying to uppercut you.
Ow. Yep, that'll hit.
Yeah, he comes through and just uppercuts you. You feel your teeth clink. You feel like yourself raised just slightly off the ground before coming back down. And you see him just glaring at you, this gold, heartless eyes looking into you. But PCs, you guys are up.
I want to try to finish off this lantern as I take another swing at it with the spear.
All right.
I'd like to use the Fabula point to re-roll that. Maybe I glance out the window and see the ruins of Kenkanai, and I'm like, I can't have another failure.
Perfect.
Not much better, but
Unfortunately, you see it just narrowly avoid your spear thrust. Just comes like the tip of it grazing against the lantern's construct.
well, actually, I remember saying that I can keep spending Fabula points to keep.
You can, yeah.
I think I'm gonna use my last one. So this hasn't come up yet, but my theme is hard work, and so I think like using a second Fabula point is like really digging deep and trying to put in the work when it really counts to finish off this foe that we're facing.
I believe.
Nice. That'll hit. That'll hit and finish it.
Awesome. Perfect.
How's that look?
Maybe I like stab the spear straight through the like glass part of the lantern, extinguishing the fire within, and then I kind of like swing my spear and the lantern flies off the tip and crashes against the wall.
Nice. Yeah, you see the lantern falling completely out of the fray. The lightning wheel is up, and Kaede, you see it focuses upon you. It's charging up once again. Its maelstrom of energy, and it is going to unleash upon you.
Uh, 11 magical hit.
Okay. So you see it just burst out once again. You're gonna get the skeleton shining through as it does 21 lightning damage to poor Kaede.
Ow.
PCs, it's your turn. And Resh, Kaede, how are you guys looking?
Not great.
I am a point above Crisis.
Okay.
I am fully crisised.
Fully correct.
I 2 points below it actually.
Kind of wish it had dealt one more point of damage, because then that would give me my Crisis ability.
Punch yourself in the face.
Can I hurt myself as a free action?
I don't know if I'm gonna have 5 turns to be able to deactivate this thing in time.
All right. Yeah, PCs. You all are up. Who hasn't gone? I think just Resh and Mixie.
I think so. Yes.
All right.
I'll
take
go.
a guard action again, or go ahead. Go ahead.
Either way.
Nah, you know what?
You guys are
You go, because you're in worse shape than I am. So you protect yourself.
It doesn't really matter because you guys killed the third guy, so you guys are back to back.
Oh, true. All right. Well, in that case, maybe I will. Let's do an encourage. Have you taken any damage yet, Mixie?
I've only taken the 5 points of damage that I did to myself.
Okay. Actually, so I'm gonna call out to Kaede and say, we have to push through this. We're almost at the end. And I'm gonna do encourage on you, spending 5 of my points. Going up that much, and you gain 10 hit points, and increase the die size of one of your dice.
Cool.
All right, you guys. Oh, well, Mixie, go.
Mixie is gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and do another shadow shot on Gravius because I haven't taken much damage, so I'm feeling gutsy. Wow, that's not gonna be worth it. Oh well. So 14 will hit, so that is doing 20 damage.
Nice.
And he'll say something to the effect of, "Leave my friends alone!"
Perfect. Well, you see that shot go off. Gravius pushed back slightly by its impact. You see the arcane from the energy begin to swirl and grow ever larger. Who's feeling lucky or unlucky in this one? Who wants to roll me a d20? Low is good, high is bad.
I'll roll it.
Yeah, you see that arcane energy. Like before, it kind of surged for a second before shrinking back down. This arcane energy starts to swirl and raise again. You see it blow the roof off of this tower, surging into the sky. Everybody, give me a dexterity check.
Oh no.
Hey, dexterity is the one I picked to increase.
Not very good.
No.
Kennedy, you were clearly like just ready for anything. You're able to see this burst coming through, avoid the strands of arcane energy, and avoid the crumbling of the roof. The rest, Nixie, Resh, you just bombarded by arcane energy and rocks as it comes crashing down. You see Gravius almost seems to be enlarged as arcane energy swirls through him. It almost seems like he is consuming it within him, and he's already 8 foot tall and bigger. It almost seems like he is 9 foot tall now and even larger as this arcane energy swirls through him, almost invigorates and empowers him. As Gravius' turn too. Gravius is still mixing it up with Resh. He uppercuts you before. This time he's going down. He's punching down, trying to push you into the ground.
I'm sorry, real quick. On that 16 that was rolled before, did we take 16 damage? Is that what happened there?
Yeah, you guys took 16
Okay, I
damage.
just wanted to make sure that's...
Dang, that's bad.
For Mixie and Resh. Yeah, Mixie. But he's going to fumble. How does it? Oh, so Resh, you get an opportunity because he was opposing you in that round. So you get to go from the opportunity list, pick something that you think could fit, and we'll see if it works.
How about I want to do affliction. He's gonna swing with a huge haymaker and miss me and leave himself wide open for me to smack him in the head with my shield. And it says a creature sucker is dazed, shaken, slow, or weak. I don't actually know what any of those mean, but surely one of them would make sense for me smacking in the side of the head with my shield.
I think dazed or slowed would work well. Let me pull up the conditions so I can read them off. And
I've got them. Dazed temporarily reduces insight die size by 1. Shaken temporarily reduces willpower die size by 1. Weaken temporarily reduces might. I don't remember what the last one was.
Slow, so I imagine it's the temporary
Dex.
reduced. Yeah, okay, so they're all okay, gotcha. So I assume with his, I'm gonna smack him in the side of the head and lower his dexterity for a moment because he's briefly dizzied.
perfect. You see, he kind of like stumbles back, clearly not expecting you to dodge that or even to be able to retort there. But party, you are up. You see the arcane symbols seem to be getting stronger and stronger on this anvil as its beam kind of pierces the sky. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna take advantage of the encouragement from Resh and rush to his side to try to hit Gravias with my spear.
Okay. That will hit. Thanks. Get rid of the armor.
Nice. So that's 17 damage.
Perfect. You guys see the lightning wheel spin up again, and Kaede, it is almost seems to be laser locked upon you. You see it gather its energy and just unleash a torrent, a storm of arcane bolts. But that should miss, hopefully.
Magic defense, I have 6. So
Oh,
Oh,
you're the magical one. So unfortunately, that will hit for 19 lightning damage as that storm racks through you.
all right,
That gets you into crisis mode, right?
Yep.
A
I'll be doing some extra damage.
bright side, bright side.
All right, PCs, you guys are up. I forgot what order you went in.
well, it doesn't really matter what order we go in because we can trade it up on this one. But I can't remember when we started the round.
So I think Kaede went last. So it should be you and Mixie and Resh again, if I got that right.
Okay, so neither of us have gone this turn. Got it. Okay. I'm just gonna try to continue disabling the thing, I think.
All right.
I think that's a good plan.
All right.
Is Resh taking a different approach or kind of doing the same, just bashing through?
Just well, this is all he's really good at. Like, he's not smart enough. He doesn't fully, he lives in the land of technology, but it doesn't, like, I live in a land of technology, me the person, but I don't know how my iPhone works.
Fair enough.
Just
I don't
what
have
it
an
does.
iPhone. So just gonna try to continue just smashing the machine with his mighty hammer.
Smash away. Might and willpower again.
All right. I believe in myself.
I believe in a thing called love.
Just
Is that
enough.
enough? Hey, all right. So after spinning around and smashing this shield into the side of the massive creature's head, he's going to turn back and just crash his hammer down on the side of this whirling machine, knocking away some of the mechanisms. Hopefully,
you see kind of bits and pieces of this anvil, this kind of technological anvil, just chipping away. You're starting to see the arcane storm start to recede as you guys are starting to bring down its defenses. Mixie, you're up.
Nexie's going to go ahead and take a shot at Gravius again. Just the normal one. Yeah.
That'll hit.
Okay.
He's looking bloody too.
Great. That's it. I'm just hanging back, just pop, 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 pop.
Nice.
As
All
he's
right.
paying attention to the other guys.
So Kaede rolled the last d20. Who's feeling good or bad about their rolls? Who thinks they can roll low? Is a
I've-
good thing.
Been rolling pretty well, but I've been
Alright.
rolling pretty high.
maybe. So you want me to do it?
Too late. I already pressed the button.
Well,
Dang it. I called it, didn't I?
You see, even as Resh is starting to kind of just rend away at the machine, chipping away kind of layers of technology, the arcane storm seems to be just rising unabated. You see before it rose, kind of piercing through the tower and just going straight into the heavens. You now start to see more lunar pieces of the moon start to fall through from the sky, and some even start to fall into the tower itself. And you start to almost feel like this arcane surge of just raw emotion coming through as like the planet itself seems to be reacting, almost chipping away at your own resolve as these rocks start to come colliding with the tower, colliding with the earth itself. Everybody give me a willpower and might check to see how well you guys keep yourselves afloat as the rocks collide, how well you deal with it, this almost mental backlash from the arcane.
Dang.
That's rough. Yeah, so you guys,
Oh, I rolled the wrong thing. So, I mean, I think it's gonna be lower. So,
yeah, you guys feel like this, like, knocked from your feet as the rocks collide with the tower, and bits of the moon kind of rake through your skin. You're almost disheartened as like this energy kind of rushes through you, and unfortunately, you will take 20 damage across the crew.
that's gonna take me out.
All right.
Does it actually take you out? Because there's a thing about getting to 0 hit points, not actually like killing you. 0 hit points. If a character's current hit points reach 0, their fighting spirit has broken. They'll face a different consequence depending on their role in the story. A player character, a villain, or a normal non-player character.
Yeah, player characters can choose to surrender or sacrifice. So, surrender, you're just kind of out of the fight for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice, depending on how you want to do it, is it's pretty crazy. Sacrifice, you can go through You can give your life to accomplish a seemingly impossible deed. And this is in the rules, such as putting an end to a centuries-old curse, taking away a demigod's power, single-handedly holding off an army. It lets you do ridiculous shit.
I mean, this is a one-shot, baby. This is
You're the protector of everything.
I am the
Grab
guardian.
Gravius and throw him in the beam.
Yeah, I think. Remind me again. The damage was dealt by what again?
So kind of the falling rocks, as well as like almost a planet's own mental anguish from the devastation being unleashed by the rune itself crashing.
All right. Here's what I got an idea. I see a part of the ceiling beginning to crumble down right above what's his face, Gravius, and seeing that, but knowing that he's fast enough to get out of the way, I'm gonna throw myself at Gravius and hold him down as a massive boulder crashes down on top of both of us.
Yeah, you see grab like this giant Gravius, who even as like that burst went off the mental anguish, he seemed to grow even larger. Like for a moment, it looks comical as Resh tries to grapple this huge being, and you see like he miles at you, like thinking he could just like shove you off like a child, but he pushes on you. You hold firm. You see his smile falter. He pushes again. You hold for him, keeping him locked in. You see fear in along those kind of like those almost robotic golden eyes as he looks at you. Kind of not even just traces, he just straight out panic and fear as he pushes against you with all his might. But you hold firm with that last bit of your resolve as a piece of the roof crackles off, breaking through, smashing both you, Gravius, as well as the lightning wheel, smashing those throughout. Resh, before that thing falls and kind of ends his life, does he have any last words? You're muted, Resh.
Right. So as he's basically got his arms like around this massive creature's waist, as like the guy just like beats him on the back, and Resh is going to turn towards Kaede and say, what's something dope? Give me a second. I wasn't expecting to have a noble sacrifice at this very moment. He's going to say, for your people, for our people. And that is going to be the last thing he says before he is crushed under a pile of rubble.
You guys just see kind of those last words coming through, and it's for our people. As he's for our people is heard, you see that chunk of the tower crash off, and you see all three of them ended as it crumples to the ground. As you all look up, not even time to mourn Resh, you see this arcane swirl intensifying. It almost seems like without Gravius to control it, it is losing its coherence, but not losing its primal intensity. Before, where it was kind of just lashing straight out, now it is lashing around. You see bolts of energy arcing to and fro, attacking the target, attacking the bits of rubble around the tower, reaching to the skies, some arcing back to the ground. It seems like it is just melting down. Mixie Kaide, you guys will each get a chance to see if you can stop this ritual and potentially honor Resh's sacrifice. Kaide, I'm gonna have you go first on this one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll focus on, I'm not the most magical person, but I have some magical talents, and my the magic comes from the earth, and I'll focus on the land around me that is mine by right. My kingdom and my people that many of whom lay buried beneath the earth, and drawn that connection to the land to try to channel my authority into the magic and shape it and bring it under control as I claim my royal power over the magic that's going wild here, just as I did with the undead in the city before.
Nice. Give us a willpower and might check.
All right.
Just enough. You bring like you struggle kind of imposing your own authority on this magic, and you see it kind of swirling. It almost seems like it's defying you, but you could hear the sounds of battle beneath you. You could hear those undead guardsmen still loyal to your family after a decade plus, after losing their lives, after their homes and own families were burned. They are still fighting for the kingdom, and that gives you the extra bit of resolve to bring that magic to bear, earning you guys another tick on the clock and helping to contain some of this chaos that's emerging from this arcane anvil. Mixie, you're up. You're the chosen one, the one who can bring balance between the technological and magical. You see this wellspring of arcane technological energy welling up. What does Mixie do?
Mixie is going to very, very solemnly just going to cast down his arms. So he's dropping his pistol, he's dropping his shield, and he's just going to embrace this anvil in an attempt to he's going to try to use his arcane abilities to harness and control and build upon the framework that that Kaede has built for me, while also using my mechanical components to try to replace what Resh had previously destroyed in the hopes of getting it to stop effectively, conjoining with this anvil.
Perfect.
Is what I'm going to try to do.
Give me an insight and a willpower check.
My two worst. That's not
All
true.
right, here we go.
That's a good one and a bad one. Anyways. I have 4 Fatima points to spend, so we're just going to go ahead and pull upon that bond of the world and roll another one.
No, if you do the bond, because you did say you have a bond to the living creatures of the world. Remember, bond you get to add. Traits you re-roll. That first one was a 9.
Yes.
You just needed +1 there.
Okay.
So how does that bond come into play, and how does Mixie utilize that to kind of strengthen his resolve here?
So, in the short time that Mixie has traveled with his companions, he has seen incredible feats of humanity in Risha's sacrifice and in Kaede's people's resolve to continue to serve for what they believe was the right thing to do. Seeing all the people at the amphitheater who fought valiantly, although for naught, to try to stop this onslaught of these weird people. Thinking of all the random wildlife that he encountered as he wandered the forest to leave, and he basically has a Dragon Ball Z-esque spirit bomb moment where he's picturing all these things that he's experienced flashing before his metaphorical eyes, before he just pushes just a little bit harder.
Perfect. You push that extra bit, kind of all these experiences kind of swirling around you, and you feel like this arcane technological hybrid. For a moment, it seems like it's just gonna almost straight consume you, just almost overwhelm you with its magical embrace. But you do eventually bring order to it. You're able to kind of repair those bits of the anvil that are necessary to kind of keep everything in line. You're able to impose your will upon the arcane energies. and this beacon goes up. And before, this beacon was almost eating away at the sky, eating away at the moon, anything it touched. The energy almost changes, and now it's kind of it flows into the sky and almost flows around and back into the earth and the moon itself. You see pieces of the moon that were kind of in mid breaking off from it, almost kind of mold themselves back into the surface. You see the fires and craters that are spread across the planet from the impacts. Fires put out, so the craters not beginning to heal, but you see life beginning to kind of vines and grass kind of almost rapidly filling them in, some filled with water as well. And you, Mixie, you feel that, at least for now, a balance has been achieved. You see kind of the chaos caused initially by this mixture of magic and technology colliding has been resolved. And maybe peace could reign if the people would allow it.
Rip Reach. Rip.
Yeah, as things settle down, Kaede's gonna rush over to the rubble and start like pulling rocks aside and finally uncover Rush's just like face, and he's clearly gone. But then she's gonna pick up his shield from under the rubble and say, you protected us. Now I think it's time for me to take a step back and learn how to protect others. And kind of activates the shield, and it makes that like grid technological effect as she starts to try to figure out how the technology works.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys are able to kind of take a moment to collect yourselves as you kind of stumble out from the tower. Kaede, you see the just fallen forms or the remains of those guards who bought you guys the time you needed to make your way above. And while they're crumpled on the ground, those who can see their face, all of them have a smile upon it as if they kind of meted their eventual fate or finally found their peace. But eventually you're able to leave the tower. You see like the energy is still flowing into the sky, a beacon for a new age. And that's where we're going to wrap up our session. So that's Fabula Ultima. For anybody that hasn't yet, throw TTJRPG into the chat. Actually, with Nightbot not doing his thing, just throw something in the chat. I can look at it myself. So we'll get you into the drawing. Right now, we've got 5 people in there. So, yeah, it's still a pretty easy one to win from our last few ones. So, definitely make sure to throw yourself in. Before we wrap up, I'll say, guys, what do you think of the system?
That was really, really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I think just my favorite part was, going in with that vibe of anime JRPG of just like high stakes, high tension, like running, escaping. There was sort of like a downtime campfire scene, but like that was just like a moment, and then we moved on, and it was just like really dramatic all the way through, and that was really fun.
I think the character building, and especially as you get into higher levels, could be a lot of cool stuff. Like I love like the mixing and matching of the different kinds of like classes and stuff like that. And I think you could really make some very interesting characters happen with all the different combinations that you can make.
That's my biggest rose so far with this system. I like character building. It's one of my favorite things with TTRPGs, and I love that it not only like encourages you to like mix and match, like it requires you to at least do a little bit. That's really cool. Man, I like it starts level 5 to that, and I like the way they have that set up. So definitely rose for me on that side too.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of just the world building process as a general thing. So I really enjoyed the collaborative nature of the world building and building the bonds and all these things in there. So we as players got to have a say in aspects of the story and aspects of the world at large that you don't really see in a whole lot of other games. So I liked that.
Yeah.
Some of the mechanics that I liked, the way you combine the two stats is pretty cool. It makes lots of different things, and then the way that the high roll is what you use for damage instead of doing a separate damage roll is really nice.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that too.
I've really been enjoying systems that have done that. Like this system, the Marvel game, and there's somebody else I'm forgetting right now that I played that's done that. It just keeps everything moving a little bit faster. So people don't have to re-roll and figure out what their damage dice are. Even on a VTT where you can just click it, it just makes things faster.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed that that's happening in a lot of the newer games right now. They're like getting rid of either the attack roll or the damage roll, or just like combining those two things into one so that there aren't multiple rolls happening for single actions. Like MCDM RPG got rid of the attack roll entirely. DC-20 got rid of the damage roll and it's just the attack roll. This game uses the part of the attack roll as the damage roll. They're all reducing the amount of rolling you have to do for the single thing. So I'm like glad. I personally like it, so I'm glad that this seems to be a trend happening across TTRPGs in general.
Right. My favorite has been the way this one's done it, with kind of like the mix of the attack roll and damage roll in the same one. But also speaking of games that don't do attack rolls, I'll throw a link in sometime. But and I always mispronounce it. Karen, one of my favorite OSRs, Kickstarter for 2E is out. I'll throw a link in there. We actually may be having the creator on for Meet the Maker sometime for the next little bit. They went live yesterday, but they've already doubled their goal, or tripled their goal, I think, actually. So crazy on that side. Big shout outs to them. Keep an eye out as soon as I get organized. But he seems willing. I just need to get organized. So that's coming soon sometime. But yeah, I've liked that. I've seen the same thing, Ryan. It seems like it could be a big trend, and anything that can help speed up rolling and all of that is good in my books.
There were a few little minor nitpicks I had. I thought it was kind of weird how bonds were a plus a number and then the traits were a reroll, but they both cost a Fabula point. Like maybe as you get more of the emotions, I think they called it with a bond, it eventually becomes worth it. And obviously if there's situations where you don't have a trait that applies, but it feels like the traits are generic enough to where if you can apply a bond, you can probably also pick a trait instead and then get the reroll instead. But I mean, it did play into a lot for when we just needed one or two more with that guaranteed success. But especially if you don't know the DC ahead of time for certain things, then that's tricky.
Yeah, as I say, if you know that you missed it by a lot, then the reroll is going to be better than trying to onesie twosie it off of a bond. To lift it. But if, like in my case, I barely missed it, I just needed 1 point, bond was good enough.
That's true. I also do think some of the, like, we didn't see it because we just didn't pick them, but like some of the abilities are like don't feel very impactful that you choose. Like one of the guardian abilities is you get 3 HP per skill level. I'm like, I could spend a whole level to get 3 hit points and I started with 60, so it just does not feel very impactful at all. But then other abilities are like crazy powerful to do all kinds of insane things. So like, I don't know, maybe they get better as you level up or something like that. But yeah, that's my one complaint that I encountered so far. But overall, I think it's cool.
If in a one shot, you're not necessarily going to run into it either. But like once you max out a skill or a class, you get a hero ability. So like, yes, you have to take all of those skill levels of that thing so that way you can unlock the thing. So like late game, you'll take 5 levels on that, you'll have an extra 15 hit points total, but you have to spend so long to get there. So it very much feels like a filler level up, like you're leveling up, here's a gimme, rather than something that necessarily is something that you'd be like, yes, I want to take that one.
Although that's true, but also I do something I just thought about. There's not like a lot of I don't think there's really a lot of ways to get more hit points in this game, right? I don't know. I didn't because I'm playing a one shot. I didn't look into like the level advancement and stuff like that. I was like, I don't care about that because we're playing one session. But it was something. Now that I think about it, like that might be the only way to get more hit points besides just, I guess, taking a class that has a +5 hit points.
Right, as part of its free abilities. Yeah.
I'm blanking, but I'm pretty sure you do get hit points when you level up.
Oh, well.
At least
Yeah.
if you increase like your might dice and stuff like that, we'll probably do it. But yeah, back to kind of like the character creation stuff. Like I came into this like because Kaide's my Final Fantasy 14 character, and I had a very specific idea of what I wanted, and I was very happy with being able to make that. Even though there's not a Dragoon class, I basically got all the things that I wanted to do with it. So that was really satisfying.
Yeah, overall, I think it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Also, I looked up the advancement rules. So yeah, so it actually is. If you need any more HP, it is probably useful to take it. For level up, if you don't get anything else, you just get 1 hit point and 1 mind point for a level up.
Okay.
So triples up what you get. So
I guess three points is, I guess you start off with like probably between 45 and 60, I guess, and don't get a ton of them after that. So I guess another 3 to 15 might be impactful.
Sweet. So anybody that's not in yet, throw yourselves in. Oh, and Kaylin, I think End of the Odd is the one that started the 1 attack roll thing. That's the first time it's the first game that I know it from. So I'm not sure who else may have done it before that, but it's the first modern OSR that I know that's done that.
Yeah,
While we're waiting for the last few people to get in, our game of the month for next month is going to be Dragon Age. I've been wanting to play this for a while. Actually, I got both. I wanted to play this for a while, but they haven't printed a run for probably a couple years. But at Gen Con, they had a new run for this. I picked it up from there. I finally got my hardcover. I actually got my Fabula Ultima from Gen Con too. Next month we are diving into kind of another video game oriented one, but Dragon Age, and this will be my first time tackling Green Ronin's age system too. So I'm pretty excited to give that a shot. So make sure to stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I think we've got everybody in. So unfortunately, I don't have the screen up since Nightbot isn't cooperating. So I'm just going to do Wheel of Names and announce the winner.
Drum roll.
Wheel of Names is so slow. Human Fly. So Human Fly, what's your full name? Because I cut it off. Type it in numbers.
Human Flies YouTube.
The Human Flies YouTube. Shout out to you. You won our game of the month. When you get a moment, either through Gmail, which my Gmail is teganjgaming at gmail.com, or through Discord, so Tegan Gaming. Hit me up, shoot me your email address, and then we will send you a free PDF copy of the Fabula Ultima system. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, make sure to come through next week as we get into our first impressions of Dragon Age. But still stay tuned because I need to do I've still got 2 videos I need to do for Fabula Ultima, the review as well as how to run combat. So keep an eye out for that as we get through this weekend. But thanks everybody for hanging out, and until next time.